man. What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? What up, though? What's popping? What's happening? What's going on? You're back in the lab with your favorite neighbor, your man Mark Nash. He is I am he. Another great episode of Breaking Beats. How y'all feel? What's the deal? You already know what we do. We break down business, entertainment, art, technology, sports, and anything else you and I feel like talking about. It's a hip-hop political sports show with a comedy twist. We like to let the jokes fly. You know why? Life is serious enough. Yeah, life getting real serious for Tory Lanez right now. Golly. I'm going to open the panel up. For this one, this will definitely be an open panel conversation. Let me make sure I got the link pinned at the top. So we just basically having I'm doing a pop-up, man. Doing a pop-up. Had to pop up on you. Basically want to pick your brain. What do you guys think? Is it excessive? Is it justified? Was his sentence too light? Was it too harsh? I think he was facing 23, 25 years. He got 10. Got 10. I think the minimum he was facing was 9. I heard some people say, hey, man, the sentence was actually too light. Some people were saying, nope. With all the things that happened in that case, this sentence was actually too stiff. Pause. So we'll talk about it on this episode. Like I said, it's a pop-up episode. That's all I'm going to talk about tonight. And we'll chop it up on the tomorrow. I got to do a breakdown on the Bud Crawford interview that he did. So I'll do that, get into some boxing tomorrow. But this will be a pop-up episode for this. Let me do a neighbors only roll call, because without the neighbors, the show wouldn't be the show at this level. I know I say it every night, every episode, but I truly mean that, and I believe that. Let me make sure I got the link out there. If you want to join the membership, man, it's good shit over there. Yo, I just did an interview today. Interview was supposed to be about 15 minutes, maybe 30 max. Interview ended up being an hour and 35 minutes. Fire too. Fire. Good interview. We'll be dropping that and putting that out on members only in clips. Then I'll drop the full thing. Actually, I'll drop the full thing. I don't want to spoil it. But it's good though. It's a damn good one. It's a damn good interview. So let me do this neighbors only roll call. Let's take it from the tip. Shout out to my guy Megazar, Ace Retro, let's go. Cam, Lay Low, Titus the Titan, Mr. Pass, my lad, Adam Kelly, all the way in Australia, Ill Status Boxing, Patricia Sh00ting, that guy Clips 330 early, the Boxing Scholar, God Body, Scans Rants, Seen and Unseen Boxing, Deuce Times, Stephen Bateman in Australia. Man, mama, we made it down under 2 times. Shout out to Sydney. Shout out to Melbourne and all my people in Australia rocking with the show heavy. What up, gangsta? I know boxing. What up? Tell Toya. What up? Tank the Sweet Science Examiner. What up? Ricardo Johnson. What up? Rockman. What up? Wanda Villa, the Rilla, aka Epoxy Magic. What up? AJ, he don't play. What up? Johnny Goodman, what's up, man? What Electro up? Jazz, stay getting his bread. What my up? Boy TY, he stay fly. What up? Miguel Ramos. What up? Philip H, the all-time great. What up? Abigail Hollis in Wisconsin. Holla. What up, gangsta? I am Cam Edwards. Shout out to everybody in Omaha, Nebraska. That's Crawford country over there. And shout out It's Boxing to You. What up? The XO Factory. What up? Dub Right Side. What up? Mr. Golden Stay Holding, aka the Back End King. What up, gangsta? Raheem the Dream Soto. What up? Like that. What up? Girl behind the mic, aka Memory. That's my girl Memo. What's up, sis? What up, gangsta? Told you, man, the fight over now so I can do some other content. But I had to stay on the Aerosexual's neck, man, for about 3 months. I had to get it. And I ain't done. I'm just taking a break off from today. John Norrie came to tell his story. Us popping with Major Key Boxing. Lady Shan Dundam season, my UK girl all the way in London town. What up, gangsta? Cooking with the champ, aka Champion Heart. On the floor with Shelton Moore. Shout out to SLG that's my boy Sam from Washington. I got my other homeboy, his name is Sam as well. Sam F, that's Sam Farley. Pound for Pound Sports Entertainment, that's my guy F Merritt. Kendall, D-Lo 404 Boxing, what's popping? Carmen Serene with the Serene Saturdays. Carmen said they should have gave Tory Lanez life. Damn. What up, gangsta? Nick Rich in this trick. Shout out to my sister Nikki in Central Florida. And shout out to Mr. Rich as well. Aaron Parker, the Big Talker. Taylor Bell with TabTech, UnlockSim.com. Unlock your next device today. What up? Transcendent Sports Channel, my Filipino brother from another all the way in Canada. We global, baby.
What up?
Fisty on the fights. She just might. Jacob Sims, that's him. Haplo, let's go. MFB, Miss Queen Sunkiss. Beyond the Ring with Nonito and Rachel Donaire. That's 9-time champion Nonito on his way to the Hall of Fame. We're going to walk with him every step of the way. True Media Today, USA Boxing. That's my guy, Coach Malachi Williams. What up, Coach? Kyoto. Foodie with the Beauty, a.k.a. Food Revolution. KP from KC5. My boy Matt Wade got a dope single out called Papa Daddy. Y'all check him out. That's Matt Wade, MattWade.
What up?
Where I'm at?
What up?
Where we at?
What up?
What up? Where we at? Okay. Beyond Above Media. Pittsburgh T, aka Mark. That is true. Crawford's gonna beat Spence. Yep. SF City Slicker. It's Mex. Rider of the Storm. Here to There. Matty Well. Cliff Bailey. Con Shawnery. Lisa Bell. She never fails. HL Deezy. Cooking with Sir Senior. Brandon Washington. D Bevel the Champ. And of course the big fish himself, my good brother Derek Lincoln.
What up, gangsta?
All right. In the words of the future Hall of Famer, 2-time undisputed, 3-time lineal, 40-0 with 31 knockouts, Terrence Bud Crawford. Let's get active. Let's get active. I got my guy on the floor with Sh00ting Moore. He in the building. What up, family? How you feel?
Feeling good, bro. How you?
Man, I'm always good, even when it's bad, my brother. I don't believe in bad days. I had to tell somebody that the other day. That I was like, hey, you fucking up my vibe. I don't have bad days. I'm gonna call you back. That nigga don't
there you go. There you go. Probably was me. It's probably me.
My car won't start. This bitch here tripping. The kids doing this. The dog peed on the couch. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, hey, nigga, you ruining my mood right now. Nigga, I'm gonna talk to you tomorrow. Like, what's wrong? I was like, yeah, nigga. I don't want to hear all that negative shit. Nigga, you alive, right? Yeah. Did your herpes break out on you this week? No. Why? Well, you doing good. I'm joking. Shell Moore said, nah, that definitely won't me now. Hold up.
No, not with the herpes, bro. The herpes wasn't me, bro.
It's for life. Nah, it was Brandon Washington. Whatever, though. Go ahead.
Nah, man, I'm just waiting for somebody else to get up here because I need somebody to explain to me why this dude, a multi-millionaire with security, was riding around with an unregistered pistol in his car. If he never had that in his car, none of this shit would have ever happened. None of it.
Well, he's a rapper, ain't he? Ain't that what rappers do out there in Cali? Don't y'all be killing niggas in Cali?
Look, that's why you got security. You are not that guy. You're a rapper. You shouldn't be living that type of lifestyle. You ain't even hanging around people like that. You scared to be in Kylie Jenner's neighborhood? You know where she lives, bro?
No, I don't. But I can
imagine. She lives in Calabasas. Ain't shit happening out there. So I say again, why are you riding around with an unregistered pistol in your car? Makes no sense, bro. Makes no sense.
What you think of the sentencing?
10 years is a lot, but like I was saying earlier, I think we talked a couple days ago. And I told you something that my grandmother told me, right? You remember what I said?
No. What she said?
She said, if you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
That's a fact, though. So look, let me ask you this, though. What's your do you think he's gonna get, how much of his time he got to do out there in Cali? He got 10 years. It's 2023. How much you got to do? 7 years at least? What?
No, he got to do 8 because it's a violent crime because there's a gun involved. So he's got to do 85% of the 10 years, which is 8 years, 8 months.
Damn. So it's gonna be a rap for homie.
Well, if he's talking about rapping, or if he's a singer, he can come out and sing. But rapping,
hold up, but doesn't he get deported?
Oh, he's definitely getting deported once he gets out of jail. Yeah, they're gonna deport him.
Y'all let me know in the chat, man. Y'all think it was excessive? Y'all think the sentence was too light? Y'all think the sentence was justified? Food Revolution, she said no good behavior, Shelton. Can he get early release with good behavior, or is that or
No, you don't get good behavior on 85% sentence. You don't get no good behavior.
really that is the good behavior, 85 instead of doing 100%?
Yeah, you don't get no good time, no work time, none of that.
And that's mandatory. He gotta do that. They can't do nothing.
No, because there's a gun involved. Whenever there's a gun involved, it's 85% violent crime.
No, think about that.
Shout out to my girl, Passionate Bliss in this bitch. Shout out to Passionate Bliss. Passionate Bliss, pull up. I love Passionate Bliss. I love Passionate Bliss. The link pinned at the top. The link is pinned at the top. I'll drop the link again. Yeah, this is an open panel conversation. Passionate Bliss says she ain't got no love for that dick. She said he does. My girl Karma Serene said he deserved life. I said, damn, Karma. She said he deserved life. I was like, he ain't kill nobody. She was like, fuck that. Throw away the key. Shout out to Passionate Bliss. Fight Night Elite said play stupid games, win stupid prizes. That's what he get. Yeah, man. She said he isn't good. He deserves every year. Lisa Bell said, where is he from? He's from Canada, Lisa. He's from Canada. He is a Canadian. He is a Canadian. And yeah, he's a little dude too. You think he's gonna have a easy time in jail because he do got some paper, or man, paper gonna dry up real quick, you think? Because he in prison?
Well, he's gonna be PC'd up for the first couple years. They gotta see how he acclimates to prison life. You know, he's famous, you know. So
years?
they're not gonna put him on the main line.
I was thinking, well, he's been in jail for a year now. Well, nah, he's going up the road now, right?
He's been PC'd up in the county jail for a year. He ain't been on the main line.
So would they, before I go to Foodie, would they why do you say they're gonna put him on PC for a couple years instead of a couple months?
Because they gotta make sure that nobody has any kind of vendetta and wants to kill him because he's famous. You know, he's a target. People gonna be trying to make him buy phone cards, buy phones. Somebody might try to take his little booty. It's all kind of shit going on in prison, bro. Prison has no respect to person.
Okay, let's go to my girl in California. She out in the valley. Foodie with the beauty. Welcome home. What's poppin', sis?
What's up, y'all?
What's up, Foodie?
What up, Sh00ting? How you doing?
I'm good.
Talk to me, Foodie. What's your take on this case? Guilty.
Well,
Guilty. 10 years. He got to do a dime. What you think?
I don't know. I mean, I have a hard time believing that someone of his stature is gonna really do that 10 years. I mean, I know what Sh00ting explained, but I mean, he might do close to it. Just depends. But I don't follow either one of their careers. I just follow like what you were, that one night you broke down the transcript, that chick that was there and she did the whole transcript thing. That's kind of the most I know about the case, and I picked up a little bit here and there. How he kind of shot her, and then he was trying to say that it was her friend and all that kind of shit. But I don't know, it's kind of crazy. I mean, and once you're convicted, it is what it is. They got enough evidence, so it don't really matter what you think. But yeah, I mean, but as far as what Sh00ting was saying, is like, in PC ain't always that safe. This nigga's in there that be doing some crazy shit, like especially from different gangs or whatever. Like, they can still extort you in there, and the biggest extorters in there a lot of times is the fucking the police in there, the whatever, the guards or whatever, like, because they know your vulnerabilities and you want to be safe, so you'll just pay them. So shit, it's a crazy web. I don't know what's gonna happen to the little boy in there. He kind of little.
Now say that again, Foodie, because my wife had me doing some crazy stuff, killing a gnat. So
I'm saying the guards in there be the ones that be extorting people the most, because they'll be like, yeah, we'll let such and such get to you if you don't do what we want you to do. If you ain't got no rank or no pull, because if you got rank or pull, then you got the guards. You telling the guards what to do. But if you don't, then shit, they know you got money, then they might get at you. They'll let people get to you. You know what I'm saying? So
well,
shit,
Mark enlightened me on something. Mark said that he been out here false flagging claiming this, that, and the other. So he might have to click up when he gets out of PC.
To be fair, I didn't say false flagging. He might have did what he had to do. He might have had to pay somebody. You know, I don't think he got jumped in, but he's definitely been on camera throwing up signs and sets. I don't know what he's repping and all of that. I don't get involved.
He's from
he ain't
Canada.
putting in no
Man.
work. He paying somebody then, so that's smart on his part.
And he's from Canada, so he's false flagging that.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, let's bring let's bring Passionate Bliss in this motherfucker. Passionate Bliss in this bitch. What up, Passionate Bliss? How you feel?
Can you hear me? Testing.
Yes, ma'am. Long time no see. How you been, sis?
Hey, how's it going? All is well. I did not see Tory with the little beanie cap on. I thought he was going to join the Muslims in there and get some protection from them. But he's safe in there.
Hey, that's a smart move, Passionate Bliss. That'd be a smart move.
Yeah, he's got
you got to echo.
He's got enough money to pay for protection.
Hold on, say that last part again.
He's got enough money to pay for protection. Whoever he links up with, he's going to pay them and they're going to protect him. He'll be fine doing all of his 10 years. And he can finally take all of the levers that he would like to have while he's in prison. And he will not have to act out aggressively against women or others because he's hiding his true desires. He can have his true desires now that he's in prison. And I believe he'll be happy there.
Are you insinuating he's gay?
I do believe so. Yeah.
Oh,
He's already been into a fight with two gay men and shot a woman. And my personal belief is that when these men are beating up women all the time, it's because they're mad that they're not men. And he has now been in 2 fights with gay men publicly, and I believe that he's hiding something. And
who's the gay man? Who's the gay man? I don't know about this. Are they famous gay men?
Remember he fought August Alsina and he fought Prince, the guy from Love and Hip Hop. Yeah, he was in 2 public fights.
August Alsina's gay?
August Alsina, yeah. He's in a relationship with a man now, isn't he?
Is he?
Well, he said he was fluid.
With Jada Pinkett.
He said he was fluid, y'all. He said he was fluid.
He is on a reality show and he's in a relationship with a man. Well, one of his fluids is gay.
He's swallowing fluids.
Ew.
Never heard of it.
It's an adult show, man. Y'all better have a strong stomach. Listen to my crazy ass tonight.
Well, I would just assume if some man say he fluid, then that's kind of, he going that way. Like, you don't need to be fluid if you are heterosexual. So I don't know. I ain't seen any of that.
That's what it is.
What's the saying in the hood, y'all? If you flip, you flop, right?
I ain't never heard that one show more.
I mean, neither. I don't know.
They stopped using that in the late 70s.
Yeah, if you flip, you flop, man.
They stopped using that shit in 77, nigga.
If you flip, you flop, man. If you flip, you flop.
Okay.
If you flip, does he mean, for clarification, if you flip on like your homeboys, or what do you mean? Like if you snitch, then that mean you're gonna give it up in jail?
That means if you do anything with a man, you're gay. If you flip, you flop.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, you can't say I kiss a man or I'm only gay when I'm in prison. None of that shit works. If you do anything with a man, you're gay. If you're a man.
Gay for
if you do anything with a woman and you're a woman, you're gay. There's no in between.
Yeah, that's crazy. That bring me, man. I don't want to switch subject yet. Y'all heard about Wayne Brady though, right?
Yeah, he pansexual.
Yo,
never heard of it.
I'm also not surprised.
Go ahead, Bliss. Go ahead.
I'm also not surprised about that.
Right, me neither. Why you not surprised though?
He's always been effeminate to me. Some of his jokes were on the edge. You kind of joke the straight men don't usually make. He's been on the edge. They laughed it off, but I've always thought he was fruity.
I know I'm the old man here, but what is pansexual?
I mean, you do with anybody. Pan is like everybody, right? Like the pandemic.
That's funny.
Wow.
So that's what pan means. That means
I'm gonna do a
you're
Google.
open to everybody, you know.
Oh, that's what the prefix pan means.
Pan, yeah, it means all or every. Mm-hmm.
Say the pan prefix means all. Absolutely.
Like versus an epidemic, there's a pandemic. You know, so you know you're.
So here we go. Pansexuality is a sexual, romantic, or emotional attraction towards people of all genders, regardless of their sex, gender identity. Pansexual often people might refer to themselves as gender blind, asserting that gender and sex are not determining factors in their romantic or sexual attraction.
That just means you're greedy.
Gay. It means gay.
Right? Gay.
Yeah.
It means you're trying to sound sophisticated while being gay.
Right?
Y'all
Gay.
oh my God, man.
I mean, you know, my mind is there's a whole lot of different avenues you can go down with that. Like, I don't know. That's crazy. That's crazy. Because like, well, I don't want to get into that, but go ahead.
We here, Foodie. What's the pop-up? Let's go. Cook.
No, I've been thinking lately. I don't know why I've been thinking, but like, okay, have you ever noticed that transgenders never be in a relationship with another transgender?
I don't know any personally.
Well, I do. Like, I mean, not personally, but you know, I work in the community. You know, I'm a nurse, so you work with all communities. You respect everybody while you're at work and all that kind of shit. But someone brought that up, like, you know, the whole debate about, you know, women and cis women or whatever, like, you know, transgender women versus regular, you know, women like me or whatever, you know, that don't identify with anything else but being heterosexual. And then there's the ones who are transgender, and they say that, you know, men who are heterosexual are homophobic if you don't like to be with transgender women. But it's like, okay, well then, if you're so worried about that, then why don't y'all just date each other? Then you ain't got to worry about it. Because like, if you a man or you identify as a woman, and then you get that thing cut off or whatever, and then you're with another one, and that's a transgender woman. You two transgender women in a relationship, like, you know, why don't y'all just do each other? Like, why don't, you know, they always want to be with straight men who identify as straight, or men who whatever, you know, like, it's just a whole sticky situation. I don't understand why they don't just date each other. But I mean, not that you have to only, but I never seen, besides, you know, Caitlyn Jenner, you know, he turned, you know, he cut his thing off just to be a lesbian, just to be a straight man in a lesbian relationship.
No, he got some titties, but he still got his pet.
Right. So he identified as a woman, but he was like in a relationship with a woman.
Yeah, that's weird, because you went and got melons, but you kept the carrot.
That's the whole thing. Yeah, well, some men
That's
like it like
true,
that.
Foodie. I never thought about it like that. You're right, though. You never see transgenders together. That's
right.
True.
Well, when they suggested that they be together, they said that was transphobic.
For somebody,
I'm saying you want to be recognized as being a woman, right? And then there are lesbian women, right? And there are gay men, right? They're in a relationship with each other, and everybody's open to understanding that. We're fine with that. But if you're two men who, you know, change, then you're two women in together, then you're just a lesbian relationship, right? Or if you're a woman who, you know, got a digit put on.
Maybe that's being with the same sex though. Like,
okay, but they don't ever be in, you know, so, but they're supposed to be LGBTQ, right? So it's all one pot, right? So why can't you just be in a lesbian relationship with a man or a woman to be, you know? I mean, like, you don't ever be in a lesbian relationship when you are a trans.
But if you think about it, the man is in the relationship would be little because he's really a woman, and then the woman will be huge because it's really a man. So I mean, it's going to be a little man with a big giant woman. So I mean, they probably don't even.
Well, that happens in heterosexual relationships, right?
All the time.
They're probably not even attracted to each other because they're so.
I don't see why. That's the whole point. Like, why not? If you are if God was supposed to make you a woman and you were born a man, right? That's what they be saying. Like, they're in the wrong body and all that kind of shit. So I mean, you know, I'm just trying to understand. I'm just trying to understand. I mean, I'm not saying one thing is right or wrong, but I'm just trying to understand. Like, if two women who are born women and identify as women can be in a relationship, and two men who identify as men who could be in a relationship, then why can't two transgenders be in a relationship with each other?
I don't know.
Because they both know that they're faking it, and I don't know what Bruce is doing. Bruce might change his mind and come back. You know, he was with those witches in that coven for a long time, and by the time he left, he didn't have to be a man
Yo.
anymore.
Nah, but they said that he said that he was that way when Chris got with him. Chris was desperate because she had 4 kids and no child support from Kardashian. Like she got out of that
I
relationship.
thought he died. I thought he died.
No, he died like in 2004. Like they were teenagers.
They was already broken up when he died.
Yeah, for years. She was already married to Bruce. They're like the oldest one is my age, so she's like 43, 44 years old. What's her name? I can't remember. They all start with K's. There's Kim,
Courtney.
Chloe.
I think Courtney's the oldest one.
Courtney,
yeah. Courtney, she was like 9 when they got divorced in the late 80s or something like that, right? So she got with Bruce right away, like a year later. She had 4 kids to feed. Like, what the fuck was she gonna do? She was a flight attendant who got with a baller or whatever, and had 4 kids real fast, popped them out real quick. But it didn't work in her way. She didn't get the child support, so she had to marry somebody else. So she took like they know their circles. They know who's weak. He had gotten divorced. He had 4 kids too. So they got together and formed a little weird Brady Bunch type of situation because he had some Olympic money or whatever. And she knew. He said that he was already taking hormones when they got together, and he was wearing lipstick and shit. So she knew. He said that at the very beginning when he came out, like she already knew that he was transitioning.
wow.
So she's gonna have Corey to transition now, because I do need that Corey is getting very shapely. His hips are round. The last time I saw him, so I feel like Corey is transitioning also. But I do feel like
Oh my God.
Chris may have had something to do with it.
Man, we all over the place. And all of this came from Passionate Bliss said she think Tory Lanez is gay. For the people just pulling up, like, how did we get here? This all started.
I mean, we going into a deeper dive. I said I wasn't going to
dive.
go there, but Mark gave me the go, so I was like,
Yeah,
okay.
I'm here, man. I'm here for it. I'm
So
here.
so let me get this right. I'm a little lost. So Foodie, you saying Bruce Jenner been gay for years?
Yeah, because like if you look at it, like I said, like I'm my age. I put my age out there. I'm not ashamed of my age. I'll be 44 next month. So that means that the oldest one was like 9, and Kim is a year later, so she was 8. And then in the 80s. So back in the 80s, dude was already doing this thing because he was in the Olympics in the 70s. So like he was already doing.
Yeah,
this
he
thing.
was in the '76 Olympics with Sugar Ray Leonard.
Right. So he had already decided that he was in the wrong body back then. But I guess he just wanted to, they had to do the whole cover up thing. It wasn't as open back then, so they were still doing the little, cover up marriages. They still doing it, but Kim learned from her daddy, from her mama. She married Kanye, knowing that he was a weirdo, because she could exploit him and get what she wanted from him because he was weak.
So if Chris knew all along, then why leave Chris? If you still wanted women and Chris knew all along, why leave Chris?
Because Chris wanted some of that big booty, big hip black dick, and he wanted women.
Now that is not a known. If you from LA, Passionate Bliss, that's a known secret. That's a unkept secret that Chris been fucking for a long time.
Yeah, Chloe's daddy ain't Kardashian. She ain't no Kardashian.
They try to say it's OJ. It might be OJ. Who knows?
Well, they said it was her hairdresser, who Chloe looked just like him.
Yeah, she looks like the hairdresser. And
I
remember
let me pull up the hairdresser. I gotta see it.
Remember they had the episode where Chloe was going to get the paternity test to see if she was a Kardashian, and they never came back with the results. I never saw them come back with the results from the test.
Well, not on camera, but I'm sure she know because she was saying like I don't want to know. I'm fine with it.
Hell no, this is her dad, yo. Soon as I seen this,
I never seen it. Let me see.
Hell yeah, this him. This is Himothy. Let me share the screen. Soon as I saw the picture, I was like, oh yeah, that's him.
Oh yeah, I did see that. Yeah,
right here. He looks like her with the wig.
That's her dad.
Yeah,
That's
your
him.
daddy. That's your daddy.
that's the pappy. Look at this picture right here, this angle. The nose.
Yep. When she used to be a big girl. Yep.
Wow. See, Rob looked like his dad. I can see all the rest of them look like mom and dad mixed. Just
Yeah.
right here, like,
That's your daddy.
oh my God, yeah, she looked more like him than OJ. Yeah. That might be the pappy. That's the
Damn. Look at the profile. The profile always shows.
Foodie, you crazy.
It does. Like no matter what. Like you might look straight at somebody and then they go walk off with each other. Like, oh shit, that's her motherfucking daddy. That's her daddy right there.
We got my boy Pittsburgh T in the building. Welcome home. Welcome home. Welcome home. What's up, neighbor?
Hey, salute to everybody. This case with Tory Lanez, I don't understand. Like, I don't understand how these dudes don't understand what's going on with this whole situation. Because although it seems like it's pretty obvious that this lady didn't tell all the details, she lied about a lot of stuff. When I say Megan Thee Stallion and Nicole witness, because she recanted her story. She is the victim, and the victim is on trial saying this is the man who shot me. So I don't see how he ever in his brain thought he was going to ever overcome that. That just didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. No matter how many holes he poked in their story and what they came up with on the outside, she's the victim and she's saying he done it. Now, as far as the sentencing itself, taking that into account that the person that you shot said you shot them, all of that gets put into account. So for him not to take the plea deal, I see all that to say that for him not to take the plea deal, I just didn't get where he thought how this was going to end.
What was the plea? What was the offer?
I can't even remember what it was, Mark, because they knocked it down so early. They didn't even want to take it. Remember, he had a public thing and she had a public thing, and then if the judge told him that he no longer could go do anything public, and she had like a all-out like press run, where she was going on all these shows and stuff. That was right around that time. But he just didn't accept it at all.
The original offer was 6 with a possibility of parole in 4.
Should have took it. And that's the problem. Like it's the system that you in. I don't see how when you got a victim, like I said, you got a victim, you're a black man, and it's a woman saying you shot him. I don't see how he thought he was gonna win that. I don't get it. Maybe it's just me, the way I think.
Maybe he didn't think she was ever gonna actually take the stand in trial. Or maybe they thought they was gonna attack her credibility because she was doing the interview saying they hadn't slept together, and then we come to find out they had slept together.
No, I get it. She lied about a lot of stuff in trial, but my point is that no matter what she lied about, she is the victim, and she is saying that he shot her.
She didn't lie about that at trial. I would have lied about sleeping with Tory too. There's only one other guy that I've slept with. I would have lied about sleeping with him. But I mean, if you were Megan Thee Stallion, you would lie about sleeping with Tory. I wouldn't want nobody to know that either.
But it was obvious though they was hanging out. Like she was twerking on them. They in each other hotel rooms. She going like they were seen together a lot. They weren't just friends.
I knew she was lying though. Even when she was on the interview, I didn't get it. I was like, why is she lying about that? We all know she's sleeping with him. It seemed like it was common knowledge that everybody knew she was sleeping with him. But I remember thinking, why is she lying about that? But she did on the stand tell the truth. She did not lie to the jury of 12. And the thing about it is that the jury hears things that we don't hear. So 12 people heard the story and said he was guilty. So I trust the jury. I trust the jury.
But that don't mean that he's not guilty though. We see a lot of people. That's why they got the Innocent Project. That don't mean he's not guilty.
Yeah, but 12 people said he was.
But that doesn't mean he's not guilty. That's just mean like I just think he had a lot to overcome. I'm not even going through. I think that like we're not getting all the details with that. We do know the other person in the car who made a statement recanted their statement. Now you can recant the statement and plead the fifth on the stand. We know that happened. We know that we know Meg didn't tell the whole truth. Like I just didn't think that even with all of that happening, he still couldn't beat the person that shot him said he did it. Like no matter what else happened.
I think if they would have introduced those gun particles, like I was talking to Sheldon Moore earlier, and they were talking about the gun residue and the particles. Usually, a gunshot residue expert can count the particles and say this person has this many particles, this many person has this many particles. That means this person probably shot the gun. So I was like, ugh. They asked the question. The person who was the gunshot residue expert for the state was like, I don't have that information. And you just left that alone. No, you should go get that information if you're trying to exonerate your client. But got my boy Like That in the building. What up, Like That?
What up?
What's popping with you, man?
Not chilling, just tuning in.
Hey, Tory Lanez gets 10 years for the Megan Thee Stallion shooting. What's your take? Is that excessive, justified? Did they go too light on him? Did they go too hard on him? Pause.
I think they went too hard on him.
All right, tell me why.
I didn't follow the case all the way through the 3 years, but from what I understand, if I remember correctly, he didn't have any gun residue on him.
He did.
He did?
Yeah, he had gunshot residue on him.
Oh, well, shit. Well,
But so did Kelsey and so did Meg.
oh, well, damn. Well, shit. Why Kelsey ain't in jail then?
No, anyone standing close to them would get residue on them.
Exactly, right. But we don't know who has the most. His fingerprints are on the weapon. It was another lady's.
No, his fingerprints weren't on the weapon, Mark. I don't believe it's true.
His fingerprints is on the weapon.
I heard his fingerprints wasn't.
His DNA, but his DNA isn't like on the magazine and the bullets and all of that stuff. His fingerprints isn't on the clip and the magazine and the bullets and all that stuff.
Damn.
But it is a woman's DNA on the gun too, but we don't know who that woman's DNA is. And
but they only tested him. That's the problem with it. They only tested him.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, everybody quiet.
No, Like That was speaking. I was just saying they only tested him. That's, like I was saying, it's a whole bunch of holes in that case. But again, no matter what holes he pokes in it, he still got to beat that this woman got shot and she's on the stand saying he did it. Like I don't get how he was gonna beat that, and I don't believe like she lied about a lot of different things. I didn't get that. Like what Sh00ting was saying earlier, like, man, listen, you put yourself in that situation, you got to make the best of that. We know how that system works.
You think he should have took the stand in his own defense? He should have took the stand?
No, he should have took the plea deal, Mark. That's what I think he should have did. He should have took the plea deal.
Yeah, if
That's
he
what I
knew that
think.
he did it, like in his mind, if he knew he did it, he definitely shouldn't have taken it to trial.
No, even if he did or didn't, I just don't think I'm not even talking about the guilt or innocence. I don't see how he was going to get a better outcome is what I'm saying. I could be wrong. I just don't see him get a better outcome.
He got a better outcome if he took the stand, because now you have 4 different stories. You have the victim, and she's saying he shot at her feet and said, dance, bitch. And it was no fight or nothing. Then you get her friend say, yeah, we did get into a little scuffle. It was a little fight. And nobody said, dance, bitch. I didn't see nobody shoot nothing. Then you get another witness say, hey, look, it looked like everybody was beating on that one girl who got shot. But I didn't see who the shooter was. I saw the guy shooting recklessly in the air like he was trying to calm things down. I'm paraphrasing, of course. He was like, but and yeah, he was like, basically you got 3 different stories. The only person that put the gun in his hand for the shooting was her. But also the other witness did say, I saw a guy shooting in the air. But that's not what he said originally in his original statement. He changed his statement once he got to the courthouse and he talked to the DA. So it was just weird. It was like a lot of conflicting statements. She conflicted. She changed her story. Kelsey changed her story. The witness changed the story. Tory should have took the stand in court in his own defense, in my opinion. But I passed the mic. Go ahead.
Well, if he did, then if he was guilty and his lawyer knew that he wasn't going to be able to build a strong case around him, then that's the reason why he didn't take the stand.
Well, the other reason why they didn't take the stand was the state was going to be allowed to introduce prior bad acts, which like, so the August Alsina fight, if you had a drug charge, any other things you ever did, they was going to be able to bring that up while they're questioning. So
right,
I think
so that would weaken the case. So yeah,
but
He also had He had a prior
That had
gun
nothing to
charge.
do with this case. Right. That had nothing to do with this case, but they was going to be able to introduce all of that. And I think they were trying to protect their client, but
Well, yeah, they would have been able to build a stronger case against him, so it was against his best interest.
I would have prepped my
That's
guy.
the way it goes. When someone is on the case, like if someone's on the stand for, like let's just say like you got a warrant out and you're out there and they finally catch you, you know, with a gun, they arrest you. They're gonna pull anybody with any type of any cases, domestic violence or any arrests. You know, they can take that to build a case against you to assassinate your character. That's the way it goes.
Yeah.
And it's a high profile case too. So like the DA is not gonna want to look bad. So they're gonna put all their resources, all their manpower digging and finding whatever they can, because they don't want to be looking like the prosecutors from OJ. They don't want to look like that.
I was just saying, like they're gonna pull any type of evidence that you're, you know, assassinate your character, that you're not a upstanding citizen, a law-abiding citizen.
But that's prejudicial though, right?
No, because it all depends on what you look. They're trying to build a case to what you look like to the jury.
Yeah, but that's prejudicial. Like to bring up, oh yeah, you had a weed case about 3 years ago. That has nothing to do with this.
Well, not a weed
It's
case.
on the judge.
It's type of violence, and he, like you said, he had a gun charge before. It wasn't just weed.
And you got to remember, Mark, that in California, this is the only state in the union, I believe, where anything you've done in any other state, in California, they can use that against you. Whereas in other states, if you committed a crime in California and you commit a crime in that state, they can only try you in that state.
Felony, like if it's a misdemeanor, they're not going to bring up a misdemeanor charge on a felony case.
Yeah, they can't bring it up like in Ohio or some other states. Right. They can't bring up what you did in California.
Felony charge.
Whereas in California, they can bring up everything, no matter where you did it at.
Also, Tory Lanez got that aggravated assault on August Alsina.
He also has domestic violence charges against his other baby mama, and he also had he beat up the other guy, Prince, too. He beat up Prince that he's a violent criminal, exactly. So that's the reason why they didn't have him take the stand. Yeah.
But all of those charges that y'all say, he had no convictions, no priors.
Right, but it doesn't look good.
It doesn't matter if you've been convicted. You've been charged with it.
You can indict a ham sandwich, right? That's what the prosecutors always say.
What I'm telling you is
ham sandwiching people. He was beating up bitches and he had gun charges.
No conviction.
What I'm telling you is this.
It doesn't look good to the jury.
That's only because
it doesn't matter.
Pending.
In this state, in California, it doesn't matter if you were convicted of it. You were charged with it, and they're going to use it. That's what I'm telling you from what I know. Not something I heard about. Yeah. I'm telling you what I know.
Yeah, they'll read your charges out in court.
And then you got to think of what the jury is going to think of. It don't look good. So if you're the lawyer, you want to be the best picture for your client.
Man, I was telling Sh00ting more. I said, man, when they say the state of California against you, it's really the state, or you against the United States government, it's really you against. Man, stay out them damn courts, man. Stay out them damn courts, boy. That's keep
that old saying about California, you come on vacation, leave on probation.
Yeah.
The same with Florida.
I used to hear that about Atlanta before I came down here.
There's a lot of places that people want to go. They be partying and bullshitting, and then they forget where they are and what they doing. People
Vegas,
be reckless.
Vegas,
yep. All the bigger cities that people like to party in. Women, drugs, alcohol, motherfuckers lose their mind. They forget.
Yeah, he just put himself in a fucked up situation. And like them old people used to tell you back in the day, trouble is so easy to get into and so fucking hard to get out of.
Hell yeah.
Well, that's why I teach my kids. Is like you don't want to be guilty by association, being in the wrong place at the wrong time. And it's all about optics, what it looks like when it comes down to it in court. You know,
every place that Tory went
every
place he went was the wrong place in the wrong time. This guy is a violent criminal. He's been begging to go to jail. He finally got it. I'm happy for him. I'm sure he's happy to be there as well.
What you eating? What you eating, Passion Blood?
Oh, I'm sorry. You can hear me? It's pecans.
Yeah. Give me hungry too.
Sorry.
No, I mean, you hear that shit all the time, man. Cats, you can't I've had a detective tell me to my face, "We don't give a fuck who did it. We got you."
Mm.
I've had a cop tell me that. So that's how they feel. We couldn't figure out who really did this shit, but you got priors, nigga. We got you. So we gonna stick all of this shit on you.
And if you didn't do
Yeah,
that, you probably did something else. And
Yeah, but that's their attitude. Because after them cases over, they never go and say they got it wrong and look into somebody else. They don't do that.
Yeah, they have to answer for closing out those cases. They have to get those cases off the books.
No, I've been
Yeah, but
I've been to plenty of cases where I've been called as a witness or just somebody to speak on the behalf of the convicted or the one they're trying to convict, and the cops don't even show up most of the time, and it gets thrown out. That's what happens a lot out here in LA. In Van Nuys Court, like they don't want to be bothered if it's not a real big thing, unless it goes to Superior Court or something like that. They don't want to be bothered.
Yeah, but see this guy was something that some detective can make his bones on this case. He can get a promotion.
He's got money and he's a high profile dude. Yeah, that's
yeah.
Did y'all
get a promotion.
One of the
But most people
was
plead out though. Most people plead out in those cases. That's the other
yeah,
part of
because they
it.
don't
That's
have the
why
money
they're
to
able
fight
to have.
the case. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why they're able to get those prosecutors like that crazy workload, because they know the majority of those cases they're gonna plead out because people ain't got the resources to hire no lawyer and do all that shit.
Well, that's the big flaw in the criminal justice system. Yeah. It's definitely a huge flaw in the criminal justice system because most people who commit crimes don't have the money to beat the case or even present the case. So they know that if they go to court, they go to trial, then there's no way out. You know, versus taking 14 years. 14 years.
Yeah.
Than doing
If you
life.
did it, if you did what they say you did and you caught, your best bet is to take the best deal you can make for yourself.
No, it doesn't matter if you did it or not. It's just that you don't have the legal representation to fight.
Well, you can get a state's attorney.
You got
you can get a state's attorney or a public defender.
Yeah, the public defender's got like 342
one at a
cases.
time. One at a time. Y'all overlapping a little bit.
Well, here's the thing, though. If you didn't do it, Foodie, you should fight it, take it all the way to court, because that way at least you can appeal it. Because I got too many partners that they got out on appeal.
That you and I have
right. But I got partners that then got out on appeal because they took it to court. But once you take a deal, you can't appeal shit. You took the deal. That's it.
Right. But, like the average person, coming from the hood, coming from the projects or whatever like that, you just think, fuck it, I'll just go ahead. Shit, I've been in the juvenile system all this time. I'll go ahead and do that time. I'll lay down because
Facts.
It's better than, they don't have the knowledge. They don't know they really don't know their rights. They don't know anything like that, and they know that if a public defender, they gonna get your ass out. If it goes to trial, you're fucked. The motherfuckers ain't gonna fight for you. They got so many court cases, they don't even remember your name when they come to ask you what's going on.
And they actually gonna push you to take the deal. You're right.
Foodie, you said they don't know your name. They show up like, Gary Winthorpe for the defendant. What's your name again, bro?
That's how they show up. That's how they show up.
They got so many fucking cases. Them motherfuckers is all stressed out, and these were not the dudes that were at the top of their fucking legal class. You know what I'm saying?
They took the bar 3 times.
Right.
Finally made it. And then they your lawyer.
Yeah, she's right. They don't know your name until they look at that file. They don't know who you are. They don't care.
Yo, I remember I was in jail. Yeah. And it was a guy there, right? And we sitting there. Now in Clayton County, when you go to jail, if you got a violent crime, they give you a red jumpsuit, right? If you there for minor shit like me, traffic, or I missed my court date for a ticket, you got an orange jumpsuit, right? I was there because I missed court for a ticket. They put a warrant out on me, right? So I'm there for some bullshit. This dude is there for allegedly he had his girlfriend's house. He said, according to him, he's trying to leave. The girl won't let him leave. This nigga story totally bullshit. He did that shit. I'm sorry. They put a case on him. Yeah, they definitely put a case on him and a conviction. He was like, basically he was trying to leave. The girl wouldn't let him leave, and he's trying to get the door out. So he flinged the door hard, and the door hit her in the face. That's how she got those marks on her face. And the marks on her arm came not from him holding her. This came from him holding, like trying to push her off so he can leave. Allegedly. That's what he said, right? But I'm looking at him, right? And I'm looking how he dressed. Now, I'm in my orange jumpsuit because this is my first appearance. He's been in jail this whole time, and it's his trial date. He going to trial. Shortest trial ever. His trial was about an hour. Trial was about an hour. They came back to the team, was like, yeah, man, they got me, man. The jury didn't even go in the back room to deliberate. They was like, jury, y'all can go deliberate. We'll see you. He was like, no. Foreman was like, nah, we good. We got the answer right now, y'all. I'm joking, but
Damn.
I'm joking, but it was some shit like that. Them niggas walked out, and everybody literally turned around and walked right back out. They discussed that shit on the way to the room. It was like, man, that nigga did it. Me too. Guilty. They 12 of those. They were like, man, we good. Turn right around. And I look at how he's dressed. I never forget this. He had like on some black jeans, some sneakers, like some black or dark jeans, some black sneakers, and a LRG shirt. It was an orange LRG t-shirt. And I was like, bruh. I was like, why are you wearing that? He said, what you mean, nigga? This is some LRG shit. And you know, my people brought this to me for court, man. This shit a little straight, don't it? I said, bro, you look like me. Because I had the orange jumpsuit on. I said, the whole point of them letting you have clothes for court so you don't look like a criminal. So it's not prejudicial to you. So you're not looking like the defendant right here. Nigga, you wearing the orange fucking t-shirt, the LRG t-shirt. Nigga, you ain't get a haircut in here or nothing. I was like, nigga, you look like you did the shit. He was like, for real? I was like, I'm just saying. So he tells me he got the public defender, and I land the plane after this. He said the public defender is there with somebody else. It was pretty much her first case. And the nigga tells me he said, man, I knew I was gonna go to prison, man. He said, man, I knew I was gonna lose and I was going to prison, man, after the prosecutor's opening statement. I said, what happened? What did they say? He said, it ain't what she said. The prosecutor went through their opening statement, and my fucking lawyer put her head, looked down at her paperwork, and she kind of looked down, you know, like at her feet, and she mumbled under her breath. She was like, we're gonna lose. He was like, I told her, I was like, don't say that. Don't say that. He was like, don't say that, man. You gotta believe in yourself. I said, hold up, fam. Your public defender, you gotta give your public defender a pep talk after the prosecutor's opening statement. And he was like, the other lawyer that was with her, I could tell he was like the senior person, and he was just basically helping her because this is her first case. And she was like, I'm gonna lose, or we're gonna lose. And he was like, don't say that, you can do it. You gotta believe in yourself. I said, nigga, I would have stood up in court and told the judge, but I need a new lawyer. They would have had to put a gag on me or something, but I wouldn't have let that shit slide. I couldn't just sit there with somebody who already done said we're gonna lose. Hilarious though. That shit was
I
funny.
think there's a lot of people, well, not a lot of people, you know, some people, they gamble on themselves, like a Fanny Shakur, you know, and like some of these crazy people like Arlene Voorhees or whatever, that bitch Monster, that movie. Like, they know that they have the time, they know the legal system better than these public defenders. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just takes time to put all the pieces of the puzzle together. They don't have that kind of time. They don't even give a fuck to do so.
I didn't know a Phoenix Court defender herself. That's new news to me.
Oh yeah.
So did Angela Davis. She defended herself.
Mm-hmm. These are well-read, well-educated people, even though they're not, you know, go to school, college type of people. Shit. And she won. Fanny.
Yeah,
Angela
but in
Davis
this
won too.
situation, yeah, but
Like
that was
17
like
years
we
old.
didn't have the celebrities. Yeah, but we didn't have the celebrity of the stuff that we got now with these people. But we didn't seen all these prosecutors where they're literally know at some point they got all the evidence and they don't care because they're making their bones on these cases. And there's some of those
She didn't
things.
have wasn't it a federal case? Fuck celebrity. That was a fucking federal case she beat, didn't she?
No,
beat
no,
the federal case.
but
That
no,
was
but
the fucking Black
I'm
Panther.
talking about right now. Yeah, I know, but that's not what we're at right now. Right now, we're in the celebrity
federal
of these
still
cases.
has like a 99.9% conviction, so it is still right now. It's the same.
No,
ground.
it's not the same. No, it's not the same thing. Right
So
now,
he didn't have
everything's
no
based
federal
off
case, so
celebrity.
he had a better. No, for where the celebrity comes in is money. It don't matter who you know,
that's
who
not.
you are. It's about
It's
what
fame.
you have.
It's fame. No, it's not. It's fame.
Okay.
The DAs that are prosecuting these cases, they're going on to become judges, the federal judges. They're going on to get higher positions. the DAs are getting fame off of these cases and a different level of what we thinking that they doing. That's why they going so hard off of the Bill
I
Cosby's
think
and
you're
these people.
overthinking it, yeah. But
Honestly,
No, that's what's
honestly,
happening.
I think you.
honestly,
overthinking
T,
it.
I think that fame helped him because if he'd have been a regular motherfucker, he'd have got the whole 23 for that shit.
Oh yeah, he wouldn't have had no. His plea deal would have been 2 years now, dog. That's what his plea deal would have been.
Yeah, and Iggy Azalea spoke up for him as well, so I'm sure that counted.
Yeah, so he was fucked in either way.
You say
Like,
who? You say who?
Iggy Azalea, the white rapper.
Nobody
Feeling.
what about her?
She
Oh,
she wrote a
Iggy
letter
Azalea
for him.
wrote him a letter or something. They didn't give a fuck about none of that.
Yeah, fuck her.
That
Nobody
judge
give
had
a
his
fuck.
mind
She ain't
made up when he
even
came out of
American.
chambers.
None of them are even Americans. Who gives a fuck here?
Oh man.
Yeah, he getting deported too. Once he get finished with this case, they gonna ship his ass away. They waiting to let him do their time. He getting up out of here.
Like Boogie
The judge had his decision made when he came out of chambers. He knew what he was gonna do. He just wanted to hear what they had to say.
Well, shit, yeah, with the evidence against him, it would have been easy too. Like, shit, I got to get to lunch. Y'all need to hurry up. Hurry it up.
Mm.
I got fucking tuna tartare on the way. Like, y'all need to hurry up.
What is that?
Really raw tuna is nasty. White people like to eat it.
No, that's the truth, man. Do you know these motherfuckers will give you
he got
75
a whole docket
to
of
life?
people. Like he ain't the only case, nigga. You ain't special. I got shit to do. You need to hurry up.
They will give you 75 to life and go to lunch.
Damn.
And then golf.
Hey, another thing, did he ever admit to it in court, in open court? Did he ever say he did it?
No.
He never said
He
did
made
it,
a
right? That's the
statement said
other
he
part
was
of it.
sorry for what happened. He made a statement
Yeah,
today
so-
said he
Life
was sorry
if
for
he
what
said
happened.
he did it. Like that. What would you ask that? That's
No, but I mean in court, you know they hold that against you in open court when you never admit to doing shit. Like that's what they say.
Yeah, you never
You
said.
never said no. Yeah.
Well, he was already convicted, so it really didn't matter what he said at this point.
Is.
Yeah,
What's the
it didn't matter
sentencing
what he
part
said
of
at
it?
this point.
The plea
Yeah.
deal, that would be called an allocution.
Yeah. At this
And, like-
point, he's already convicted, so it didn't matter what he
Based
said
on the
at this
fact that
point.
you're already like pleading guilty.
And like Megan
Right.
said in her statement, she said that mercy is for people who are sorry and who are repentant, and he is not sorry and he is not repentant.
Because he
And
don't
that's
think
what
he
she
say he
said.
ain't did it. Yeah.
Not only that, he harassed her after he shot her, made a diss record and everything.
Oh.
No. Record.
Now
Yeah,
that's
that
where he
wasn't no
fucked. If he
I think
did
that
that,
maybe he's saying that he's not apologetic to the court. Like we got your
if he
ass.
did that,
you ain't
that's where he
you ain't
fucked
even
up.
apologizing. Yeah. Like they don't give a fuck what happened on a personal level when it comes to court. They're talking about you're not apologetic to all of the time and the money that these taxpayers are paying.
No,
all
that's
the
what Meg
conversation.
said in her statement when they asked her.
Oh, I thought you said the judge said that. My bad.
No, Meg said that in her statement. She said no mercy. is for
No,
people who
I'm
are
saying
sorry.
if he made a diss record after she got shot, that's where he fucked up at.
Well, and
Nah,
then he had a
that
bunch of
ain't
text messages. He fucked up when he had a bunch of text messages to her personally, telling her he was sorry about, not saying he was sorry about shooting her, but he was sorry about what happened. His text messages kind of sunk him into that whole situation where he gets, no matter what he said, those text messages plus her saying that he did it, it was going to be hard for him to do anything, but as much as they want to do, they could do to him.
Let's
Well,
go
you
to
know,
my.
that's crazy.
I'm sorry. Let me let her get her opening statement and get the mic check real quick. Miss Queen Sunkiss, how you doing, sis?
I'm pretty good. How you? Hello, Porno.
Hey, sis. Your audio's fine. Then you said you think Tory's being railroaded. Let's hear it.
Yeah, I don't think he shot her. I think he screwed himself with this no snitching policy. I think he should have told it because I think a homegirl shot her, and he didn't want to tell on her. That's what I think happened.
And want to ruin his career. Because that would have definitely been career ending if he get up there and snitch. And you snitch on the lady. You think that would have been, he would have got kicked out the gang?
Yeah, I mean he would have lost all his street cred. That's for sure.
This ain't career
it work
ending?
against Rainbow Boy with the rainbow
This
hair.
ain't career ending, yo?
You're
Not
right.
really, because he can still drop records from jail. They do it all the time. But he still got his street cred right now. I
Who's
would
the
have
boy
snitched
with the
on him.
rainbow hair that got everybody locked up but himself.
Talking about Kakashi.
Yeah, Kakashi. Yeah, it worked just fine for Kakashi. Not snitching on everybody, and he out here doing records with people and shit.
Did he just get beat up?
He did.
He don't give a fuck about no beat up. He got millions in the bank.
I mean, but he got to watch his back all the time. Nobody want to live like that.
He can afford undercover police. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's better than doing 10 years.
So,
He ain't in there doing 10 years.
not with him at LA Fitness. I don't think he got millions in the bank, sis.
So let me ask
you.
this.
Like that.
I don't really think that
You ain't getting it like that, sis.
it's about the him having millions or whatever. I just think he didn't want to snitch on that girl because he thought about how it looked, and I don't think he thought that he would get prosecuted because they didn't even prove that the gun was even his. So I don't even know how they got to this. I don't even know how they convicted him. It's crazy.
I just told you.
It don't have to be his gun. It's just that they have to prove that he's.
It's his car. The gun was in his car. If we can't figure out whose gun it is, it's in your car. It's yours.
Right, just like we just found out with Devin Haney in his bodyguard.
And the victim said he did it. The victim said he did it. More importantly, the victim, the person who got shot. When in history does the victim that gets shot and say you did it, and you say nope, it ain't me, and we believe you over the victim?
When there are witnesses that can prove otherwise. When there are witnesses that can prove otherwise, that's when.
Well, no, the witnesses. None of the witnesses corroborated the story on the stand. None of the witnesses corroborated her account.
Right, but you asked when in history did we ever
she's the
find
witness.
her?
And she lied all the time. She was not a credible witness. I don't believe nothing Meg said. I believe she jumped on that man. And she tried to get her homegirl to be.
I love it. I love the energy. Let's go. I don't like when everybody agree all the time. I like this shit.
But it doesn't matter. You got to remember, son, kids. This is the most important thing you got to remember. Nobody up there had priors but him. So who is it easier to give the case to?
No, he's never been
or him.
I mean, he's never been convicted, dog.
Doesn't matter. I'm telling you, this is California, bro. I keep telling you, it's not something I heard about.
I mean,
it's not something I read in the book.
It's an arrest.
I heard
it doesn't matter.
At the end
if you've been charged with the shit, they're gonna use it.
He's got charges.
That don't matter. The law's supposed to be fair and impartial, so it don't matter what.
It's not fair in California. I'm telling you what I know, son. Kids, I did 12 years with 85%.
I'm not arguing with what's going on in California. I'm just saying that the law is supposed to be fair and impartial, so it shouldn't matter what charges he had in the past. When it came to this case, I do not feel like the prosecution proved their case to be sending this man to jail for
something. But you gotta understand that no matter where, it's not even just in California. If you see any trial that goes on, when you take it to trial, they're going to bring in all evidence that may point you. The DA is going to bring in all evidence that might point to the jury that you have a record of being a violent criminal. Period. That's in anywhere. That's their job to do that.
And in California, do all 12 jurors have to agree?
Yes.
Yes.
So 12 people heard evidence and thought that all 12 of them thought that he was guilty.
Yeah, it has
obviously.
You know that means nothing as a black person in America.
He so don't, because I watched that trial and I didn't find him guilty. So if I was sitting on that jury, they'd have been mad at me because it'd have been a hung jury. Because no, sir, they did not prove their case. That's a whole man's life.
And all they would have did was excuse them 12 and brought 12 more in and did it again.
Yeah, but then the way Meg was telling lies, by the time they had that trial, she'd be real uncredible. Yeah.
I don't know anybody where there's a hung jury. It's very rare where there's a hung jury and they come back and the person gets off. Because now you're wasting their time. They're pissed off because you're wasting taxpayers' money. They're gonna go at you even harder.
I mean, they ain't got nothing to do with them. That's on the jury. They still didn't prove their case, in my personal opinion.
So he still wouldn't have got out. He would still be sitting in the jail all that time.
He didn't sit in jail, didn't he? Wasn't he out on bail?
Nuh-uh. He been sitting in jail since December, girl. They revoked his bail.
They pushed that shit to get the do that shit before Christmas, thinking
that's a risk of flee. He's not even from California. He would have went back to Canada.
That's what he should have did. Instead of playing with the American, the United States justice system.
But they have they can
have an extradition treaty with Canada. They came and got his ass.
Canada police would have picked you up.
The Mounties with the big old hats and the moose and all that shit. Yep, in the maple syrup
border, and somebody would have picked you up at the border, and or the shit, yeah, and bring
Yeah,
your
that wouldn't look good. That'd be the worst. Never mind.
long ass bus ride. Would have been long.
Yeah, I knew somebody was trying to run a long time ago from California to Canada. They wanted and I'm like, and then what? You gonna get to Canada and then what? Like, there's nothing you can do up there. There's an extradition treaty. You gonna bring your ass right back. It's gonna be even worse. Now you ran.
So, Miss Sunkiss, let me ask you this: you think he got a raw deal? So, what do you think happened? What's your case of events? Because he didn't speak on his own behalf. Meg said she talking about his music. They stopped the car. He kicked him out. Said dance bitch, shot at her feet, and that's pretty much it. Then she gets back into the car.
I don't believe none of that.
They drive a couple blocks, and then the cops pull them over. And now, she gets out, and she said she even tells the cops she stepped on some broken glass. She don't say nothing about no gun.
Right.
Only a couple weeks later, or I guess that's when she said she was shot, right?
After they got to the hospital and they said it was bullet fragment. That's when she decided she was gonna tell him.
Oh, she told the truth then. Okay. So
Yeah.
She had no choice.
I don't think she told the truth though. I think her homegirl shot her. Cause how Tory shoots you in your feet and you and your homegirl ain't friends no more. Then the girl threatened Meg because Meg was talking all this noise about the woman. And the woman didn't never say nothing. And one day she got tired. She did a live stream on Instagram. And she was like, let me tell you something. If you don't leave me alone, I'm going to sing like a bird. And Meg didn't say nothing else to the girl after that. So I don't believe that Tory shot that girl. I think her homegirl shot at her. And I think she shot at her because Tory was probably flirting with Kylie Jenner. Like they said, she got mad. And she wanted her homegirl to get mad with her. And she didn't. And so they got into a fight because the witness said that it was two women out there when the gun went off. And the third person looked like they was out there trying to get it. I think he got out there to try to keep them from shooting each other.
But wait a minute. I think Meg and her friend are not friends because they sounded like they was kind of frenemies anyway. Because didn't old girl marry some dude and have a baby by somebody that they was both fucking on?
That was no. That was not that. She won't fucking with him. That was her. He had something to do with her label, but all of that happened after. All of that happened after this.
No, they talking about some previous history, and it was Meg messing around with a dude that her homegirl was with.
Kelsey.
They was both messing with Tory Lanez too, though, right? They was both messing with him.
Yeah, it was bound to end anyway, so it's not like there was.
Yeah, that's why I think that girl shot me. And they did the sisterhood bond and got him locked up for it.
Nah, I don't think neither one of them was involved with Little Shrimp that much. Like he wasn't. I don't think he was slaying dick that good that they would be shooting each other and shit.
Look, maybe is this possible? Food Revolution. You got a homegirl. She's rich and successful now, right? But she keep trying to fuck the niggas you fucking with. Like damn bitch, why you want to keep fucking with the people I'm fucking with? Like you so niggas gonna go anyway. But you keep trying to take the motherfuckers I'm fucking with.
Listen, there ain't enough jealousy in the world, bitch. Pay me for my pain. You know what I'm saying? Or else I'm gonna tell all your business. I'm gonna tell all the herpes you got. I'm gonna tell, that throat gonorrhea that you had last year. Like, bitch, pay me for my pain, or else,
Hold on, they got throat gonorrhea?
It's money. Yeah.
So what happened? Hold on, I know it burn when you pee. So if you get throat gonorrhea, it hurt when you spit.
You got a sore throat. Come into the clinic and you talk about I got a sore throat, and then we ask what your sexual activities have been. And then we put two and two together, and we be like, "Hey, we don't need to just give you get the P one. We need to get the throat one." And then the doctor sent me in to swab your throat, and I see all this pus in there, and you fucked up.
Oh, that's
I gotta give you a big old shot in your ass.
Oh man, nigga done shot the razors down.
They say Meg out there just slinging it, huh?
What happens if they don't get it fixed? Is that why I hear some girls who got that permanent raspy voice? They be like, "Hey, Marcus, how you doing?" Like, you just hear some girls that got that natural.
It's mostly men. It's mostly men you find that in. It's mostly gay men.
Oh man, never mind. Change subject, man. No. Go
It be some young women too, though.
All right,
Don't be talking.
We don't ruin the whole visual I had in my head. I'm done. Yo,
Why you talking?
Because listen, you gotta understand. I mean, just to give you not my painted picture, but young women a lot of times, especially in certain races or whatever, they don't have sex. They be doing anal and they be doing throat.
Yeah, I'm cool. Let's get back.
So
to
that's the reason why they be, you know,
Let's
they're
do it. Let's get back to Kelsey. and Meg having her throat gonorrhea.
Yeah. I'm just saying, you know, there's different ways to extort people. If you don't have to shoot a bitch in the feet. That's dumb.
Sometimes
when it's talking about the money, you said if you got a friend and she's successful and you don't want her to be competing with me, there ain't no competition, bitch. Pay me.
No, but that's how Foodie's thinking. Somebody else like who's really close to him, or
but that's how it really goes. I'm thinking that just because that's what I'm
violent and snap, bro.
But that's what I'm saying. Meg is known for twerking. You ain't gonna shoot me and my money makers. You need your feet. And this man gonna shoot her in her feet and she not gonna say nothing. That's ignorant. I don't believe none of that. You try to shoot me and my money makers. I'm trying to take your whole livelihood, everything I can from you. Okay?
Her money makers is her cheeks. You can dance without feet.
Why lie about this in the first place, though? Why lie about it? Why say I stepped on glass? Why Kelsey didn't come out? Why is Kelsey saying everything happened at the back? The other witness said it happened at the back of the truck. Megan said it happened in the front of the truck. You get what
That's the thing, and she on video getting out the back seat. Like, she just a big old lie. She the one need to tell the truth.
Well, people are not very good at lying until you get a lawyer, right? And then they start telling you, this is the picture that's going to be painted.
That's why lawyers tell you don't talk to the police at all.
Don't say nothing. Exactly, because you don't understand how it works and what the optics look like. So let me sit you down and tell you.
And I'm gonna give you the story.
Right.
But
exactly.
Look, here's another thing where I'm gonna just say this. Why didn't they charge him more? If their account of the story is what it is, I was always of the belief he should be charged with kidnapping as well. He was not, even whether at least even if you drop that charge or reduce it later, you just shot this lady, and according to her story, she was forced back into the vehicle.
It depends on how many feet. It has to be 100 feet.
He forced her back. No, it don't have to be. I know this for a fact.
I think maybe it's not 100 feet. I think it is. I think it is something. It has to be a certain amount of feet.
Nah, I'm gonna tell you.
If she was right by the car,
literally 1 foot or less. Like it could be an inch. I made you move again. Okay, so I got this homeboy, right? Well,
I know somebody who got a kidnapping. Yeah,
and this is how he got charged with kidnapping his baby mama. They cohabitating. They don't broke up a little bit. They broke up basically, but they still living together, and the breakup is still kind of fresh. She about to go out. He's like basically on some shit like I'm not no babysitter. You know what I'm saying? Don't treat me like a babysitter. I don't mind you living your life, blah blah blah. We doing our own thing, but basically, I guess she got back in them streets a little bit quicker than he did. You know what I'm saying? She looking good, smelling good, about to go out. And that nigga sitting there with the scruffy beard, and he was like, fuck that. What the hell you think you going? Now, he blocked the door. That's unlawful imprisonment. Once he moved her and pushed her back and touched her physically, he kidnapped her. Me blocking the door is unlawful imprisonment. I'm blocking
the way. Be truthful with how far he moved her, though.
Foodie, I'm telling you this is for a fact.
No, I'm saying, was he truthful? Was he truthful about how many did he drag her into the bedroom? That's kidnapping, or in the kitchen, or did he just push her out the way?
Okay. Yeah, but the prosecutor did a lot of weird stuff. Like they didn't do DNA testing on that gun. They did a lot of weird stuff that was peculiar. I don't really think he did it, but I think it was hard for him to prove it was hard for him to overcome that witness statement. Like it's gonna be almost impossible for him to overcome. I just couldn't get past that part of it. You got a witness that got shot that said, this is the person that did it. It wasn't in a dark corner where I couldn't see who did it. We close to close. This is the man that did it. I don't see how he was gonna get past that. No matter how much we don't believe it, that was the problem. That was always gonna be his problem.
Also, the confession to Kelsey also was damning for him.
Well, she recanted and said she pleaded the fifth. That was the problem on the stand. She made a statement. She made a statement.
No,
but she made a statement to the.
No, the record. I'm talking about the recorded phone call where he admitted to her that he was wrong and he was sorry on the phone call that they played in the court. That's what made 50 Cent apologize. 50 Cent said when he heard the phone call, that was when he knew Tory did it, and he apologized to Meg. for a lot of
But he
people.
never said he did it.
Yeah, he
He
didn't
never
say
said he
he
did
did
it.
it. He just said he was sorry. And don't
He said
nobody
Yeah.
know
he said
what
he was
went
sorry
on.
for what he said he was sorry for what he did. That's what he said.
Yeah.
Yeah, which
Even his
could have
text
been
messages said
anything.
that.
It could
Yeah,
have
just
been,
his
I'm
text
sorry for
messages.
flirting with Kylie. I'm
Yeah.
sorry for putting you in that position. Could have been anything. We don't know what he's sorry for.
Yeah, the same thing with the text messages that they were highlighting. He never said, "Hey, I'm sorry for shooting you." He never said, "I'm sorry for shooting you." It's the same thing. But
He never said
I
nothing
mean,
about he had no gun.
Okay, well, with all of the evidence that you living room jurors are presenting, I'm saying that maybe he got lucky off of 10 years because maybe he could have got a lot more. So,
I don't think he got lucky. I think they got what they could because they did not prove their case.
no,
well,
they
he was
didn't.
facing
They
a
just
lot
had a
more. Didn't
smoking
y'all say
gun.
that?
Got found guilty.
He was facing like 22 years.
Mm-hmm. So that ain't lucky. He got lucky. He didn't get 22 years.
No, I don't think that was luck. I think they did what was reasonable
Well, I
to
would
try to
consider
keep.
doing 10 seconds in jail as luck. I'm just saying, once they close them doors, I would not find that to be lucky. But in his predicament, he got off of, he lucky he didn't get more time is all I'm saying.
I hope he get a appeal.
But he's not gonna win the appeal. That's the problem. Like the whole setup for this whole situation was that, like I keep saying, like you got a witness that says you did it, and we close. Like, how do you defeat that? Let's just
Well, I
say
think it's
all the other
funny.
stuff that we point out is wrong. How do you overcome
Well,
that?
didn't OJ get an appeal?
He didn't have no witness though. It wasn't a witness that was standing there
The
to say,
nigga, the
"Hey,
nigga
this is
got
the
off
man
on a
that killed me."
murder case, and you're trying to tell me that dude.
That's not the same case.
Yeah.
That's
No,
So
he
talking-
can't.
Food,
That's not.
OJ got found not guilty. He didn't need to do appeal. He didn't need to appeal.
Yeah.
Well, he
That's
did when
not
he
the
got
same
15
thing.
years.
No, okay.
The second case.
You talking about? Yeah, but that was
I'm talking about the baseball card thing.
Yeah.
the memorabilia stuff.
Yeah.
No, he got found. He did time.
He was supposed to do
He
15,
did time for
though,
that.
but he got off on appeal.
No, he didn't get out on appeal. He got out on
No.
parole and good behavior.
Yeah,
Oh, they
it's
paroled
not
him?
the same thing.
Yeah, they paroled him.
Okay, well then maybe he can get off on parole and good behavior.
No, it ain't no good behavior. He got to do a certain amount of time. That's California. OJ
Well, so-
shit happened in Las Vegas. Like
Well, still, he could get off on parole because they got overcrowding and all that shit in California.
but overcrowding and good behavior ain't the same thing though. And he still
He didn't kill nobody though.
Nah, he didn't. But he got 3 charges, right? He
It's
get
like-
the gun charge.
It's like his charge was like a little bit
he got
over
the weapons
aggravated
charge.
assault.
He got the aggravated assault, and it was something else. But yeah, he got a lot of charges. But my whole point of that is he gonna be sitting down about 8 years, man, unless he gets an appeal. And I disagree, Pittsburgh T. If they can find new information to get them a new trial, he does have a right to appeal, but he also has the right to introduce new evidence. But even then, somebody has to grant you a new trial. It ain't like you can have Meg Thee Stallion on produce some shit like a week from now and say somebody got a text message where she admits she lied about everything. So what? A judge still has to give, even with that, he could be like, that's not enough information.
Yeah, they have to agree to hear the case.
Yeah, the judge gotta say, okay, yeah, with this new information, or you got that DNA shit now, you got the particles.
Yeah, it's got to be a strong enough case here.
Yeah, you can get that. Let's say now they have that gunshot residue, and they count that Tory had 100 particles on him, but Kelsey had 5,000 particles on her. It looks like she was shooting the gun more, right?
That would have been presented in the original case.
No, not necessarily, because you could have just had not a good lawyer enough. Just because you didn't have it, don't mean it's the
But he got money though, so how did he not get a good
It don't
enough
matter.
lawyer?
That's why he fired his lawyer. He said that lawyer didn't do a good job. It was a lot of things that the judge and that just came out why he got turned down. Just because he got money.
What happened when he fired him? Did he get a better lawyer?
Allegedly, he said he got a better lawyer. The lawyer is a good lawyer, but my point is this: just because something doesn't come out in the rinse doesn't mean it don't come out in the wash.
I'm just saying, this dude shot somebody in the feet. Like, I mean, come on now. Like, why?
I don't know. Yeah, but I don't believe
how
he
hard
did
is
it.
it
But
to
he
figure
still
out?
got to
I
prove
don't believe
it.
that
But he still can't overcome her being the witness though. That's the problem. Like I'm not even saying I'm not even basing it on that. How's he gonna prove that this lady? You got to prove that without a reason. This lady is lying. And he got to have new evidence. He got to have new evidence that's showing this lady is lying. The witness,
Not even
the victim.
necessarily that he could prove that the prosecution mishandled evidence or they misrepresented evidence. Like that's why he tried to. They tried to say they misrepresented the evidence, like somebody's saying something shouldn't have got admitted. But the judge said, hey, I don't think that would have changed the outcome of the case.
That was that gunshot stuff. That gunshot, because they were doing trace. They was doing some kind of new shit where it was some kind of gunshot shit that they was using. I forgot what it was called.
And it's not widely regarded by other people.
Right. It's some new shit that they was using that it wasn't really tested. Nobody really regarded. It was something with the gunshot shit that they was trying to introduce.
Yeah, I hate when they do that shit. I hate when they bring that type of shit into a trial or whatever, because it's just
that's what the prosecutors did.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. That's why I don't like what the judge should have thrown that shit out. Like it's not evidence based. They're only supposed to present evidence-based evidence. That's just the way that medical and law works. You're not supposed to do trial and error type of shit. Like, well, maybe this is substantial or maybe it's not. It has to be substantial evidence.
No, but they had an expert up there. It's not something that most experts regard as being something that should be the standard of what they're measuring. It's some new shit that's got a real high threshold of being wrong.
Yeah, if California says it's admissible, then it could be admissible evidence. But I think that's so stupid. That's crazy, because then 10 years later, you're like, oh, oops, we realized that shit wasn't really credible, and now you got all these people who are locked up off that bullshit. I don't like that shit. But go ahead.
Oh, they don't care. Look at the damn drug laws. All these people still locked up for weed. It's now legal. They don't care.
Yeah, because you did it while it was illegal, though. So I understand that. But far as science, I think what Foodie was talking about is crazy. I saw a whole documentary about that too. It was like bite evidence and putting people in prison. It was used by saying, okay, these bite marks, you did it. And then come to find out that whole science right there, and that whole guy who was famous for doing that all over the country, he was a fraud.
Oh, wow.
He was a fraud.
Yeah, it has to be peer-reviewed evidence. Evidence-based practice is what we practice here in America. It has to be evidence-based. It has to be reviewed by your peers, meaning that time after time after time after time, there's a consensus that
they did it before for years, and they kind of found out they was wrong.
I understand that. That was then. I'm talking about we've perfected. We've gotten better over time, like with DNA and all that kind of stuff. These are things that you can't throw out. Yeah. I mean, that's
DNA is DNA. Yeah, I get you with that. But even then, touch DNA, like it's different levels of DNA too. Of course, you got the fluids, but then that touch DNA type shit, like you can put
people's skin cells on you. Yeah, but they have to prove the reason why the person's skin cells are on you. Did they just bump up against you, or was it a fight?
Yeah, but that's touch DNA. But look, I can just rub the gun on your bed sheets now. I got your touch DNA on it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, but then they have to prove, well, how did that happen? How did that occur?
Right, and that's when you got to go through chain of custody, right? Shit like that.
So,
I mean, and then it's an expert presenting. That's the other problem. Even though it might be faulty, the person that's presenting it just ain't no regular person. This is they always go through all their board certifications and all their degrees. That the person who's testifying as an expert, that's the person that's presenting
all the time.
No, but what I'm saying is when they come in that court and they get on the stand, they're deemed experts by their background. They're going to laud out all their accomplishments.
Their testimonies are thrown out all the time.
No, it's not.
A lot of times I've been in. I was in a court. I was in a court case. I was a juror in a court case.
That's not what I'm saying. When they're presenting the evidence.
We didn't hear what I'm saying.
But you didn't even let me finish what I was saying. Go ahead. You didn't let me finish what I was saying. You just cut me off and then you went into some whole other thing. What I was saying is the people that testify.
You said it before.
But you don't know what I'm saying.
Mark was talking about. You said it was an expert on trial, and you said when an expert comes in, they have lots of evidence or lots of experience, but they're using them as a possible tool, but that they're not a determining factor, is what I'm saying. But lots of times. That's not what I'm
saying.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead. That's not what I'm saying. Go ahead. That's absolutely not what I'm saying.
So then I can rebuttal. Go ahead.
What I'm saying is that these people that are coming up in their field, even in their field, they're lauded as experts. And it's up to the judge to let that into their court, not anybody else. So the judge okays that for them to come up and give that testimony. So once they get it and they lock it in, the the people that are listening to that, either it's the judge or whoever else is listening to it, it's already on the record and it's locked in as that. So now you have to fight that.
And like I was saying, expert testimonies are thrown out all the time because just because they're an expert doesn't mean that they what they were saying was proven to be true, or that the jury accepts their testimony as to be a real determining factor in the case. So being an expert doesn't really matter. You're just another person that says this is how this works, and this is what could possibly have happened. That's not what is happening because they're not a witness. So that's somebody that the DA brings in, but that they're not a determining factor. You're saying it is they're an expert and they're not determining the outcome.
I will say this: somebody called. This is how it works, as far as I know. I want somebody to be listed as an expert witness. Of course, you got to submit your witness list. That's part of discovery, right? That person then starts doing their research on my said witness. Now, once I call my witness, or they can try to get it thrown out before court, but that witness has to get accepted, basically. So I bring my witness up. That person can say, Your Honor, I want to vet this witness, and basically start asking my witness questions that an expert should know. And that's when they can, quote unquote, get it thrown out. But once that judge say, all right, yeah, okay, this witness is acceptable as the expert witness, that's my expert witness.
Well, you're saying witness, but with a lot of times it's an expert testimony, meaning, for instance, they'll come in,
that's your witness though. That's somebody on you. That's what it is. That testimony.
Oh, they have an expert witness, or they have I'm thinking like expert ballistics specialist or expert psychological expert.
Yes, but he's a witness for the state.
Okay, well, I didn't know it was a witness. I thought it was just an expert testimony.
Yeah, but that only comes from your witness. That's your.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. A lot of times they'll bring somebody in, and it would just be a ballistics expert, somebody who knows how guns work and what residue shows up at a crime scene and how it works and how long it would take.
But that's what you call them, though. The term is like, this is your witness.
Okay, well, but they weren't a witness at the crime scene. Okay, well, like I said,
eyewitness to a crime.
Okay. Okay, I got you. Well, like I said, those testimonies are thrown out a lot of times. Sometimes they'll just settle out of court. You'll go to recess and they'll settle out of court. They won't even take into consideration the expert witness. It's just they're just presenting the facts of how something works. That's there to strengthen the case of the DA. That doesn't mean that we're going to take, this person said it, so this is the truth, and now we're going to convict him. No, that's not how the jury looks at it.
Expert testimony doesn't get thrown out unless they were proven to be fraudulent, and then they can go back and appeal on the basis that it was a fraudulent. But if you bring in your expert, that's your expert witness testimony, and I have the right to accuse you of fraud in the past or making mistakes in the past, and the opposing counsel can come by and challenge your expert witness, but that's your expert witness. Their testimony doesn't get thrown out unless they've been found to be fraudulent. And then at that point, every case they ever testified on can be called.
Yeah, they'll no longer be a witness, an expert witness. So I mean that maybe I wasn't using the exact right terminology, but I'm saying that they're not a determining factor. Is the whole point is what I'm saying. Like
that's it. Because that's all it is. I get what you're saying. The witness. That's all I was trying to say, Foodie. The witness is the person. The testimony is the act.
Right. Well, I got the terminology mixed up, but I'm saying that their testimony isn't always the determining factor, and sometimes it's not even really considered.
Not all the time. Yeah, but it does help. They have some expert witnesses.
Right.
But they're gonna have their own expert witness as well on defense and prosecution.
I mean, hopefully you have a really good one who's got a great track record. Of course, I mean you want them to be strong in their evidence-based practice.
Tory had a damn good one. Didn't help him.
Well, because when you're the perpetrator, so it's kind of. Yeah,
but I thought Tory was planning on saying that he had ineffective counsel, and that's why he fired the first guy, because he wanted to testify and the lawyer wouldn't let him testify, and he was trying to say he wanted to appeal on the basis that he had ineffective counsel. And
that was one of the and then they held off the sentence, and the judge denied the new trial based off that, though. He was trying to get, it wasn't appeal yet. He was asking for, he was trying to get.
Yeah, when they do that, they're trying to get the trial thrown out. Yeah. He refused to do that. it wasn't enough evidence. It wasn't enough.
Hey, well, let me tell you how crazy America is, right? This how crazy this shit is.
It's real finagled. Yeah, it's all so many.
No. Peep this though. That's what I'm about to say. Peep this. This how ill this shit is. You can sit there and have a trial. Jury comes back with a verdict. Do you know what the judge could do? The judge has the power to set aside the verdict. Did y'all know that? You can sit there, go through a whole trial. Arguments, witnesses, guilty, times 4. 12 people say you're guilty. The judge could say, thank you for your service, blah, 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 boom. Tell the jury, thank you for their service. And he said, and he could dismiss the jury or he could do it right in front of the jury.
It's a mistrial, yeah.
No, not a mistrial.
No.
It's not a mistrial. It's literally setting aside the verdict saying,
he doesn't agree with the
that's
verdict.
wrong. That's wrong.
Right.
That is wrong. And I know because I know the law, and based off everything here, something went wrong here. You lied, or somebody perjured themselves. Blah,
well,
blah,
I think that's the reason why we have a judge and we don't just leave it to a jury in the testimonies, but because you're deeming him to be the expert in law over the lawyers, over the jury, over everybody else.
I'll never forget. It was a case, and then this wasn't a big case. K out the truth. What up, Latavia? I see you. Black Warrior Spirit. What up, Boxing Scholar? Sun Kiss Fitness down. Sun Kiss, you got a couple channels.
Yeah, I got 3.
Shout out to Sean. It was this case I saw. Let's see if I could play that shit. It was a judge that goes at it with a prosecutor over. It was like a ticket where this officer basically said something about he was trying to get this lady for a DUI. She was driving on a suspended license, trying to get her for a DUI. He lied and said they did the breathalyzer, but basically they never did the breathalyzer. And basically he perjured himself. The jury found the lady guilty, and the judge said, I'm gonna set aside this verdict, and basically this lady is not about to go to prison. You know what I'm saying? Because that officer perjured himself because we heard this and I saw that, and that shit is crazy. And he was like, are you gonna do the right thing by such and such? And you can see the lady fold her arms, and she was like, no, I'm not gonna blah blah blah. And he kind of gets in it with the lady. Man, I'm gonna find that shit. Y'all talk.
Well, well, then he has to, because there's no, under the law, if you find out there's been any cracks in the case, you have to let it go. You have to.
No, they ain't got to. Like, I mean, the law is weird because it really, the stuff we see on Law and Order, that's not what happened. Most people just plead out those cases. So it don't even matter about right and wrong, and if you did it, if you didn't do it, you just don't got the resources to go against it. Because again, you got the state or the county going against you.
I was talking about that specific case. Like, if you find out that somebody was lying, then the whole thing, everybody could have been lying about something. Like you pull the thread, then and it unravels.
Right, but what I'm saying is, let's say that happened, right? You're one of the people that happened to. You had a public attorney. How are you, as a person who had a public attorney, going to fight that? And you know very little about the law. How you gonna go back and get your case overturned? So then now it still goes back to resources.
Well, that's a different scenario. I'm talking about a judicial ruling, why the judge can say, now I'm listening to all sides and all of the evidence, and I see there's a crack. I can't trust anything now. Once there's one crack, then there might be a lot of cracks. I can't put my career on the case. I mean, on the line like that. Fuck y'all. I don't care about y'all. I gotta, the law says if there's any cracks in the case, then I gotta throw the whole thing out. You gotta throw out the baby with the bathwater in that case.
Yeah, but you talking about fair. I don't think. I think most of us don't. Yeah,
that's
not how that works.
If they do something like that, they have to justify why they will make such a decision. Because if they can't justify it, or if this hole's found in the justification, then that's grounds for appeal or whatever, some type of punishment or whatever. So
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that is grounds for appeal. If you found out there's a lie and you convicted me anyway, then I can appeal that shit, and based on the fact that he knew that there was a lie going on in the case. That's grounds for appeal.
Not always.
I mean, you're gonna win it.
What the judge will do sometimes is tell the jury to disregard the testimony. If they found somebody lying, they can tell the jury to disregard the testimony, and if the judge knows for a fact that without that testimony, they should not be able to come back with a guilty verdict, and they come back with a guilty verdict anyway, then he'll go ahead and set aside the judgment or whatever they said.
Which is what happened in that
I
case.
That happened one time when I was waiting around all day long in court. I saw the judge do that one time. He told him disregard testimony, and whatever was left over, it wasn't enough to convict, but they came back with a guilty verdict anyway, and he set it aside.
Right. Well, that's what sounds like it happened in what Mark just said, because he found out that it was a lie.
But then you also got the civil part of it, where you can go to court against somebody, and the judge can say, I don't find in your favor without prejudice, meaning you can't bring it back again. You can no longer sue again, and don't have to really give you an explanation. You see that happen all the time.
That's when there's an actual victim. That's when there's an actual victim, like in a murder case, like, or when someone died.
No. I only mention that to say that judges, they have power to let in certain evidence. They got power to let certain people testify. They got a lot of power in orchestrating that whole thing and removing things and orchestrating that whole show to the way that we see it.
But I'm saying
we never see.
That's not necessarily that's not necessarily an unfair ruling, because like he said, if they said there was a breathalyzer and there wasn't, and that was the whole basis of the case, that's the whole reason for arrest, then you got to let it go. That was a small case. That was a misdemeanor type of situation. If someone died for manslaughter, then that would be a little different.
Well, there
are levels to it.
Yeah, but even if it's not manslaughter, but you getting this charge is going to create a whole problem with whatever industry you're in, where you'll never longer be able to work there anymore. I mean, those are like things that's going to happen. Yeah. No, but I'm just saying, we can't act like, when people go to court, it's all kind of impacts that this stuff have, and these judges have a lot of power.
To the case that he brought up, I'm not going all into, industries and people's lives being ruined and all that kind of shit. I mean, there are different scenarios for that.
Yeah, but that's the judge has the power to introduce evidence, and that judge has a lot of power in these cases and stuff we don't even see, because it's not presented, because they have to have those sidebars where they're not even allowing evidence to be presented at all.
Right, but they have to do it based on the actual law, meaning, like, I'm not going to put myself on the line as a judge to rule you and put you, in jail if I don't have enough evidence.
That's not true.
There's not enough evidence for me to say that this person is guilty without reasonable doubt. So they have to prove reasonable doubt.
Not true. Not for a judge to introduce evidence. No, when a judge introduces evidence, it's up to discretion.
Allow evidence to be
allowed. There you go. That's up to his discretion for him to allow evidence to be introduced. Right. He's the one that makes that decision. So that has nothing to do. That's up to that particular judge at that date to make a decision. If they gonna if it's a black and white person get into it, and maybe the white person had like a Klan flag, and the judge said, you know what, that's not relevant. So you can't introduce that evidence. You can't pull up that social media because that's not relevant. That's that judge making a decision.
But then as a civilian or the person that's being convicted, you have a right to also go back and say that this should be admissible. If you can legally say
that's an appeal though.
And you appeal it, and then you can get it. Right.
You got convicted though. That's what I just said. You got to take that up on appeal.
But that's why we have an appellate court.
Correct.
But that's not free though. Problem is, all these things we're talking about with courts and all these things, they're not free. None of this stuff. So unless you get in one of these innocent projects or something where somebody's taking up, that's a major bill you trying to foot to do all this stuff.
Well, I've never been on here saying that the law is always fair. But that's the reason why there's an appellate court. If it was always fair, there would be no court of appeals. There would be no point of it.
I know that's right. It was $4,000 for my son to get out of a drunk driving ticket, but he only got the drunk driving ticket because he refused to take the breathalyzer. So they arrested him and he got the ticket. But he had to pay $4,000 to an attorney to go down to that court and get that ticket dismissed. And if they charging $4,000 for a DUI ticket, I know they're charging crazy money for appeals and all that other stuff for serious trials. But them lawyers ain't no joke with them prices.
Yeah, and they take in consideration, like, how much the taxpayers' money is going to be wasted on this or whatever. So there are different factors. Yeah, there definitely is, and it is always to the person who has more money. We have the judicial system has come into a place where if you have money, then you can pay me to just overlook certain things. Yeah,
I found it. I found this shit. Here we go. I gotta show y'all this. This is. I don't know if y'all ever seen this case. This is an old case, but it's an oldie but goodie.
Months after her DUI arrest, Gonzalez was ticketed.
Okay, so basically, this judge is about to set aside this verdict, and he about to chew this prosecutor out.
Turn the jury's verdict and acquit the defendant. It's a move rarely seen in the courtroom.
Right. This isn't a purely circumstantial case. And so I'm going to deny the motion for JOA.
It looks like the case is closed, but Judge Sh00ting.
That's a judgment of acquittal, and basically means at trial there was insufficient evidence for he ain't right with it, basically.
Other business with Gonzalez.
Watch this.
Now, we have this other case for driving a license suspended.
2 months after her DUI arrest, Gonzalez was ticketed for driving with a suspended license. Problem is, the only reason her license was suspended was because of the inaccurate paperwork filed by Officer Wagner.
I want to be enlightened.
It was a mistake, admittedly, by Michael Wagner.
I know.
He testified to that today.
Just said, I know. Watch this. It gets better.
He caused her to have her driver's license suspended for at least a few months for nothing.
He caused her to have her driver's license suspended. So later on, when she gets, watch it.
So you're going to no pros that case, or am I going to get mad at you?
Now, no pros mean basically no prosecution, right? Like basically drop that shit. Dismiss the charges.
The judge is addressing prosecutor Diana Mears.
Perhaps you can get mad at me, Your Honor, but at this point...
Why wouldn't you? Wait a minute. Did you hear the uncontroverted testimony of this officer?
Your Honor.
Then I want you taking him up on perjury.
He said, I want you to take him up on perjury.
Your Honor.
Will you take him up for perjury?
He admitted it was a mistake, Your Honor.
No, but he lied. He lied on a sworn
Absolutely
citation.
not, Your Honor, and that is not true.
I'm dismissing.
That is true. He did lie.
I'm dismissing. I am dismissing this charge.
Ooh, look at my boy in the back behind her right here. Let me zoom in. Can y'all see this nigga right here? Ooh, look at him right here. Look at his face. Okay.
No, I'm dismissing the charge.
The judge has just dismissed the defendant's upcoming case, but he's not done yet.
Oh, yeah.
This whole case was fishy, and I have no idea how they... You know what?
Their address on file.
You know what?
The state intends to amend
I'm granting. I am...
Ooh, she's trying to talk. You see what I'm saying? He ain't trying to hear none of this shit. He said, look, you funky mother, y'all did this lady dirty.
I'm rescinding the sentence. I'm granting the JOA.
Judge Sh00ting has just reversed his decision and acquitted the defendant on the spot.
So you're granting it because you don't agree with the state's decision?
I'm granting the JOA in fairness.
In fairness, because you don't like the state's decision today, Your Honor, on the case?
No, you're not. Now that I consider what Officer Wagner testified to and how many times he basically tripped over himself just to arrest this lady.
Did you hear that?
JOA in fairness.
In fairness, because you don't like the state's decision today, Your Honor, on the case?
No, you're not. Now that I consider what Officer Wagner testified to and how many times he basically tripped over himself just to arrest this lady with no real probable cause.
Wow.
You're done. Motion to JOA is granted.
And you're not going to provide a written order on that?
Nope. You want to appeal me? Appeal me.
She said, you're not going to provide a written order? Nope. Do what the fuck I want to do.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Case should have never been done. Never.
Thank you for letting us know that, Your Honor.
Don't get smart. Don't get smart now, girl.
Yeah,
He ain't never put her in contempt. He let her say a lot of stuff. He let her say a lot. Yeah, he let her say a lot. I ain't never seen a judge let somebody talk like that
So she
and not do nothing to him.
Under the influence.
Walks out of the courtroom, free of all charges.
Yeah.
Welcome
Justice
to
was served.
I loved it.
Justice was served.
I loved it. Yo, he went off. Yo, wasn't she talking back?
Yeah, she was almost in contempt. Like, look, bitch, you need to shut the fuck up. I said what the fuck I said, yeah.
She was like, are you going to give me a written order for that? Nope.
Nope.
Appeal me. Holla
She
at me
trying to
right
make extra work for him. No, he ain't giving you no written nothing.
Nope. Appeal me. That's it.
But you know, that's the
Like
other
I said,
part
when
of
the
it too.
evidence
Prosecutors got
presented,
to be cool with the cops. Prosecutors got to have a good relationship with cops, so they don't want to sully that relationship. So they're
Letting
not
that cop
necessarily going to
slide.
go against
well,
cops.
not only that, like I'm saying, the evidence spoke for itself. Like he, as a judge, he couldn't say, "Well, I'm going to convict this person." The evidence just spoke for itself.
No, that lady had got convicted. The jury, he overturned.
Right, but then there was,
Yeah.
but then he found out that dude was lying and all that bullshit. So, like I said, the evidence spoke for itself. When you find out that there's a crack in the case,
But every judge ain't gonna sit there and be like, you know what? That's not right. That shit ain't adding up. That shit ain't making sense with this and that. And
I mean, then it's up to you. Just being
hold on, let me say this. Because one other judge, Queen, would have said, all right, well, the officer said he made a mistake, so I understand that. He's gonna amend it and fix it. But yeah, you were driving afterwards and you did get that DUI, guilty. He was like, hold up, no, the whole reason your license is suspended is because he made a mistake on the paperwork.
right, and that's where the Court of Appeals comes in.
But he could have let her go to jail and let your lawyers do that. That's not, I'm not about to do that. But he was like, nah, this ain't right. This ain't right. And
I mean, that's what he's supposed to do as a judge.
Right, that's his job.
Every
he did his job in this case.
But judges don't do that.
Yeah, but if they don't do it, then it's up to the lawyers. But do people go file complaints because they have to write up why they?
Like I said, that's why there is a Court of Appeals.
They have to write up why they make. They have to put in writing why they make the decisions that they make in case of things like appeals and things of that nature. Those things get looked at and reviewed. So if they writing stuff that don't make no sense, then that gives persons grounds to do whatever they can legally. Everybody got to play their role. You just can't say, "Oh, they the judge. They supposed to do what they want to do." You got to check and make sure these people is doing their job as well.
It's just, yeah,
But that
we have a
happens more
system of
often
checks
than
and
them not
balances.
doing that. No,
yeah,
but
but
that's
all
not
or
even.
nothing is the same, Pittsburgh. You keep on talking about in every case and all the. You want to bring in different scenarios within every scenario that we bring
No,
up.
it's more scenarios that we know of that didn't happen than that did.
All of nothing.
It's more
is
of them
the
when we
same.
get. No, but it's not all or nothing. It's when we
No, I
find
said
these.
all of nothing is the same. So you can bring
Okay,
up
that's-
lots of different cases and then
No,
bring it into
but
this
that's-
one, and we know that there are injustices in this criminal. You know, that's why we need criminal
But
reform.
we can't
know that.
dismiss the injustice. That's what we don't. That's what
Well, that's why
we
we need
can't
criminal
do.
reform.
Well, but the
We're not
problem is
dismissing
like,
it.
look, when we find these cops that are lying on the stand doing this, they're touching multiple cases. They're touching a lot of people's lives with these
We know
fucking
that.
lies. Some of
We
them
know
are
that.
small, saying nothing never happens to these people. So if we're talking like these people, there's some kind of repercussion behind them lying. It's not. It's not a repercussion
I did
behind
not
them
say
lying.
that.
It's not
What
a
I said
repercussion.
is, what I said was.
So
That's
they
why
just taking
we
the
do know that
appeal,
there's
but that's not.
There's need for criminal reform. I'm not going to deny that fact that we do need criminal reform. In the criminal justice, yeah, there are lots of cracks in that, in the way that things are presented and the way that things are handled. So there's no need to bring up all of the injustices when we're talking about.
That's
one
your
specific
opinion, though.
injustice.
No, that's
Because
that's
we're
your
talking
opinion.
about one specific case, and if we go all over, that's what happens when you and I are on the panel. You want to go all off on what happened
No,
when
but that's-
in 1942, and that's what happened. Well,
No,
what
I never
happened
said
when-
any of
It
that.
doesn't tie into
I never
this.
said none of
What
that.
I'm saying is that
I never said none of
we know
that.
that there are injustices in all different types of cases that have been presented, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's what happened in
There's
this.
no but in it. But what I'm saying. Listen, this is what I'm saying, because you're trying to make my point for me, and that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that there's injustices in this system. Period. This system is about people who have and have not. They're able to even orchestrate themselves in this system.
I said that earlier. I agreed with you on that point.
But this system right here is. Go ahead.
Yeah, you don't like the system. I got it. We get it.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying the system that we have right now that's currently constructed, middle class working people are not able to participate in this system right now. Now we talking about Tory Lanez. He had the race.
They're not the jury. They don't bring middle class people into the jury.
Okay, so if I get in a case, or Mark gets into a case that's similar, do we have the money to pay a lawyer to do all of the stuff that Tory Lanez?
See, now you're talking
Or are
about
we
different
just
middle
gonna?
class people, and see that's what I'm saying. You keep on moving the goalposts. You're talking
No,
about
I'm not.
money.
I just said.
We're talking
no,
about middle
I
class
said-
people that we don't have the rights. Well, which
I never
point,
said that.
Stick
Never
your point.
said
Go
that.
ahead.
You trying
I
to
mean,
say
you gonna let me
Mark can't
finish?
afford his attorney? That what you trying to say?
Most of us can't afford no attorney for no whole year with multiple retainers, and if we get one, we damn sure can't pay one a retainer fee and find out that that dude is wrong. We've paid him a retainer fee and pick up another lawyer. Most of us can't do that. So like, this is about have and have nots as far as the system itself goes. So that's why most people take plea deals. That's why most of the prosecutors just shove plea deals down people's throats, and they just take them because they don't have the resources.
Well,
So that's why a lot of this stuff is sloppy.
right. So when Sh00ting was on the panel before you got on here, you didn't hear me saying any of that. That I agree with that. That's what we were talking about.
I don't understand what you're saying.
Well, I'm agreeing with you because a lot of times I feel like you're arguing, but we're saying the same thing. So
I'm not arguing,
I said that
making
before.
a statement.
Well, I said
Not
I
arguing
made
with
the
you.
same statement. Well, number one, I said we do need criminal justice reform. That speaks to everything that you just mentioned. That everything isn't the same, and that it is based on who has money to fight a case or not. And most of the people who are being convicted, most of the people that are in prison right now, don't have the money to fight it, so they take plea deals. And the reason why they even present them with a plea bargain is because they know they don't have the money to fight the case, and that's easy money because we have a for-profit prison system. We know that. That's well documented. I'm not arguing with you, but we're talking about this man, Tory Lanez, who has money, and the reason why he's doing 10 years. That's what I mean about moving the goalposts. He's not in the same situation as most people that we're talking about in that situation. He didn't take a plea deal. It went to trial.
Right, but that's part of the machine. That's why the machine is created the way it is. That's the way the machine is constructed. So when you enter into the system, money or no money, that's the way this machine is constructed.
And
it
that is
doesn't
why
have
we
a
need
personal
criminal
person.
reform. But you're saying that because you believe he's innocent, and a lot of people don't believe that he is.
I don't even think it matters. So I ain't even harping on that. I don't even think it matters at this point. I think he should have took the plea deal no matter what, because I don't see how he was going to beat the witness. I don't understand how, and I think that was bad counsel for them to even put him to go to court in any shape, a black man with this situation, with that celebrity status, that he was going to overcome that. I don't see how he thought he was going to beat that out.
Well, you can counsel somebody, but it ends up with what all that matters is that what they think that they should do. I can be a lawyer and say, I don't think that this is going to be a good idea, but they say, fuck that shit. I'm going to fight for my rights. I'm going to fight for my freedom.
Fair enough.
And he did it.
Fair enough. If he did that was silly. Fair enough.
Tory thought that all that crazy testimony from Kelsey and him and the other people, the missing bodyguard that didn't testify at all, he thought all that was going to be enough reasonable doubt to get him off, and it was not. And he got convicted and went to jail. So, but if he'd have realized that wasn't enough, because it's not just a reasonable doubt, it has to be beyond a reasonable doubt. He stirred up some doubt, but it was unreasonable doubts. They were unreasonable. Nobody reasonable would hear all that evidence and think that Tory was innocent. Somebody that's a fan that want him to be innocent, they might hear it and think, oh yeah, this is reasonable, beyond reasonable. But no reasonable person listen to all that testimony and would think that Tory was innocent. But he thought,
I think he's innocent.
Hold on, all the testimony conflicted though. A reasonable person wouldn't hear Meg say one thing, that she didn't sleep with him, didn't say she did. She said she's in the front of the vehicle. He said Dan's bitch, but nobody else can corroborate that. Her friend said that straight didn't happen. She said they did get into a fight. Her friend said, yes, we did get into a fight. And there was another witness that said, yeah, it was two women fighting. That's conflicting. So it's not just people want to be a fan of Tory. People are hearing three different stories from Meg, the ex-best friend, and the eyewitness who don't know none of them. And he said they was fighting. Kelsey said they was fighting. Meg said they didn't. She said Tory shot. She saw the gun pointed at her. Nobody else can say Tory pointed the gun and shot her. That guy says he was shooting in the air. Kelsey said she didn't see him with a gun at all. And Meg said she saw him with the gun shooting her. All three, those are three different stories.
But the main point is that, number one, somebody shot her. Number two, the gun was seen in his hand with him shooting. The gun belonged to him. That's not enough reasonable doubt to make all of that disappear.
The witness said the gun was in the hand of two women, and then the third party, which looked like it was Tory, came in and they started wrestling over it.
Yeah, so that's the problem with it. But again, like I said, go ahead.
My question is, what is the charge? Did he get charged with attempted murder or what?
No,
No, he got gun charges. That's what I'm saying. I don't feel like they proved this case, and I feel like he got railroaded.
Okay, well, if it's not attempted murder, then I think 10 years is excessive.
But that's
Tory
probably
Lanez,
what them
no,
charges
he had
carry in the
multiple
state.
charges though.
Huh?
Yeah. I'll find the exact charges, but one of them is assault though. One of them is the weapon. One of them is the actual shooting, which is aggravated assault.
Assault with a deadly weapon, or you aggravated or assault with a deadly weapon.
One of those.
Yeah, it's the difference between strong arm and assault with a deadly weapon.
Yeah, he got assault with a not deadly weapon, just some type of assault.
But it don't matter if all of them had the gun. She said he shot me when he had the gun. So you can't. There was nothing else to overrule all of that. But if you want him to be innocent, then yeah, you're gonna think that, oh yeah, that's enough. But 12 people said no, it wasn't enough, and that's why he got found guilty.
12 people get it wrong all the time.
All the time. That don't mean nothing. I don't know why you keep saying that. That don't mean nothing.
Man, the white man was sitting up there telling all them lies, and then she went on this protect black women campaign nonsense. I don't believe nothing she said.
She lied about a lot of stuff, bro. So like but the problem again is she's the victim. If she wasn't the victim and she was just lying and she was a witness, that's one thing. But the victim is pointing at you saying you did it. That's hard to overcome.
I don't know. I think they have to prove that she's telling the truth, no matter what she's
Shooting at her feet saying "dance, bitch," like this a Western movie.
I'm
like,
trying not to laugh at that. I be trying not to laugh at that part. Dance, bitch, bap, bap, dance.
Yeah, I play that clip on my channel all the time.
Yeah, it's. I'm just.
I
Don't
mean,
get
I know
that,
this is the Wild Wild West, but that's crazy. That sounds ridiculous.
Like I just didn't get that part. And Kelsey was like, "That didn't happen." Meg said it did happen.
But see, when I hear that dance, bitch, it makes me think of like when you shoot in the air, even there's a warning. What goes up must come down. So you never know where that bullet's gonna land. So don't be playing stupid games like that. You think that's just funny? That shit ain't funny. And now you know.
Kelsey's story matched Meg's story up until she got to the courtroom. Right after it happened, Kelsey's story matched Meg's story. But
No, none of them. No, Meg didn't even have the same story right away. She immediately said she broke on glass. Why did she get back into the vehicle with a guy who
wasn't
shot
going
her?
to say nothing at all about it. She wasn't going to say nothing at all about it.
But her story changed. But we can admit she said glass, then she said she was shot. Like those are two different things. Somebody got back.
She fully intended not to snitch on him.
Oh,
She fully intended not to snitch, but he was the one that kept going on and putting stuff out in the media about it.
No, that was her. That's not true. That was her.
It is
once it
true.
came out that she got
He was the one.
once she said that when she went from the one, but once she moved from the glass fragments to she got shot, they both were doing pressers. When the trial started, the judge told him he had a gag order. He was no longer to be on TV. Then she started doing all those interviews, putting out her story, which was different than she put on the stand. They both were doing that shit.
No, he was picking at her first, and then she came out and said, "You shot me, bitch," because he kept going on and on about it.
No, she accused his media team of leaking that stuff out. Remember that? That's what she said at first. She was like, Tory's media team, Tory's going to the media and putting these stories out. She accused him of doing it. He was like, I didn't say nothing. That wasn't me. But she accused him and his team of doing that. But these are the charges: assault with a semi-automatic weapon, having a loaded, unregistered firearm in a vehicle, and discharging a firearm with gross negligence. No kidnapping, no attempted murder. But because my thing is this, Passionate Bliss. Why did she get back into the car? Because she never said, I fear for my life, so I had to get back in the car with him.
That's a good question.
I never even explained that part. How does he shoot you? You get back in the car with him, y'all leaving, the cops come up because somebody don't call about gunshots. And now
Didn't the witness say they picked her up and put her back in the car? She didn't really
listen. If you shoot me in my foot, look. If you shoot me in my foot,
hold on. Now, if you want to go by that, then which witness do you trust? Because she didn't say that, and Kelsey didn't say that.
Right. I don't think someone who's a victim would be like, put me back in the car with the same person who just shot me in the foot. That don't make no sense.
And who was driving? They weren't. Were they driving the car? Who was driving the vehicle?
The
Who was
driver.
driving the vehicle?
The driver.
The driver just drove them. So they had their own driver, and the driver. Yeah, that ain't making sense.
The driver picked her up and put her back in the car.
Well, maybe they were just like
one witness, but
maybe they said they were going to take her to the hospital.
Nobody said that, Foodie. That never came up in trial from Meg, from Kelsey, or the other witness. Nobody has ever said that.
Or maybe they're just going to take her to the
I'm just curious.
undocumented hospital.
I'm just curious why that didn't come up, and what's Passion and Bliss reason for why would you get back in the car with somebody who just shot you?
Well, it wasn't really a choice. If they picked her up and put her in there, she didn't really choose to get in the car. They put her in there.
She didn't say that.
But the witness said that.
But the witness didn't say he saw Tory shooting either, though. So if we're gonna use the witness, are we gonna pick and choose what we believe from which witness? Like, I believe this part of this witness, but I believe this part from Kelsey, but I believe this part from Meg. Like that right there in essence is reasonable doubt.
Yeah, but we don't.
And they didn't.
He's just saying by the time he saw them, that's all he saw. We don't know if he shot her with the first shot, the second shot, or the third shot. He might have shot her and then kept shooting in the air. But we don't know.
Mark, you got somebody spamming the comment section.
I personally feel like it was fragments. I feel like it ricocheted near her, and she got fragments in her foot. I don't feel like he necessarily put a whole. He didn't put a bullet in her foot. I think fragments.
Why didn't they have?
Ricocheted and got on her. But
why didn't they have DNA on the gun of Tory Lanez? They should have had his DNA on the gun, on the actual gun, not that trace stuff. Actual DNA they should have had. They didn't have that. And why they didn't take DNA from the other young lady in there?
Now, what idiot wouldn't wipe off the gun by the time the police get there? I would.
DNA? You could just wipe off DNA like that?
Yeah,
if you wipe that off,
you can.
But look,
you could just wipe off DNA like that. And why didn't they test
the movies all the time?
How you wipe off your DNA, but your fingerprints are still there?
Yeah, that ain't making sense. And why didn't they test the girl? Well, why didn't they test the young lady who was in the car, her DNA? They ain't test nobody but Tory Lanez.
You can't wipe off my DNA and not somebody else's. Like, I don't know which one is. I can't wipe off her DNA and leave mine up here.
It was more Kelsey DNA than it was Tory, and they didn't even test for gunshot residue until later, and she still had more of it on him than he had.
Yeah, there's too many holes in that thing. That's what I'm saying. But that wasn't enough to get past that witness.
Never was proven.
Well, I personally don't believe that Tory.
Queen Suckless, that's not true. That was never proven.
I don't believe that Tory is a good enough guy to take the fall for Kelsey. I don't believe that Tory's
what you say?
Cred is tough enough for him to take the fall for Kelsey. I just don't believe that.
I got you.
No, it was just an article that I read that said that they didn't do it immediately when they should have got it for the results to be conclusive. But when they did go ahead decide to test them, it was more of her stuff found than on him. Yeah, it was after the fact.
It wouldn't matter as long as they've confiscated the weapon. It doesn't matter when they test it.
No, but it matters. Like, if this is after he's found guilty, that evidence. But I was telling her that was never presented during trial.
Yeah, that's an order of presentation. That doesn't matter.
That's evidence for a new trial if it's accepted by a judge. But I think he's gonna get a new trial, yo.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I said. That's the reason why there's a court of appeal
in California. Money makes shit move. He'll probably get a new trial.
I mean, the lawyer said that everything is open, so I think they should try to do something because 10 years, I don't believe they proved their case. I didn't see nothing that definitively proved that their gun, Tory put it in the car, it was his. I ain't see none of that. So
I don't see where he have basis for a new trial.
Well, because of all of the holes that people have been saying that have been presented, like they said that they didn't test the weapon for DNA until after, and all that kind of like a lot of shit that seems that it should have been presented was not presented in the case.
But that's not gonna necessarily get him another trial because he wasn't convicted from shooting Meg. That's just what everybody's talking about. He got gun charges. So
the holes was there the first time. They saw the holes, and
but they didn't charge him. They charged him for shooting her. They charged him for that gun.
Assault case, yeah.
No, he was charged with assault.
Yeah.
Assault with a semi-automatic weapon. That's the shooting.
Okay.
Gross negligence. That I guess that's the firearm with gross negligence because that's shooting at somebody's feet. and telling them to dance, bitch. So, and she actually get hit with a
And
bullet fragment.
where it happened, it was in the
She got
neighborhood.
hit with a bullet fragment. That's the assault, and having the gun in a vehicle, a loaded, unregistered gun in a vehicle. So, yeah.
Let me ask y'all a question. How much do you think that plays in the part where it happened? This shit happened in Hidden Hills, California, like where there's fucking multimillionaires and billionaires living there. Do you think that like, you know, we need to keep our neighborhood safe?
Chicago, it might not have been that serious.
Maybe. It could have been part of the determining factor.
I think the response time is quicker there, but like the prosecutor and all that, I think that goes to the celebrity of the case and how deep they dig into that stuff, how much resources they go on, because they might not even dug as deep as would have been in Chicago.
Well, then if that's the case, then I think there will be an appeal, and I think he might have a stronger standing on an appeal.
You gotta have some new evidence, though, man. You gotta have new evidence, new witnesses, new testimony.
I don't know.
I don't like the verdict. That's just not how it works. Something wrong in the case.
No, well, all the things you guys are saying that wasn't presented, he could present them.
Yeah, but it's a stage. Like you present it, the first stage you present it to that same judge for the most part. Then you go over their head, then you go up again. You know what I'm saying?
But a different judge, though. You don't usually.
Yeah. That first, that's how it goes.
They're gonna have to figure out
why wasn't it presented? Was it not available? Was it unavailable? Was it not done at the time of the trial?
But that's what you call incompetent counsel, though.
Yeah, his defense team.
I had incompetent counsel.
Right.
And it could have been the judge too, Mark. The other part of it could have been the judge too. The judge could have not allowed certain evidence in too.
Well, that's the reason why
he could have said it's not relevant.
That's the reason why when you do an appeal, you have a different judge. You don't have
a lot of times people get new lawyers on their appeal case too.
Well, you should. Shit, I wouldn't use the same fucking judges that got me in prison.
Sometimes you have to appeal. Sometimes you got to go through that judge first. And sometimes they look at it different than they be like, all right, let's do it. And then sometimes they deny, then you go, you appeal to a higher court. But my point that I was about to say was some lawyers specialize in appellate law. That's all they do. They go through three transcripts, dot the I's, cross the T's.
That's who you should be having to present you in an appellate court. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's who you get.
Like you have someone who's specializing in murder trials. If you have a murder case, you have somebody who is in tort law. If it's an accident, you need to have someone who specializes. Yeah, you don't just get any old body. Hello?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah. I mean, that's the smart thing to do. You don't get nobody who only has experience with accident chasers to represent you in a murder trial. So,
this is new. I think that new lawyer he got, they said that was Suge Knight, old lawyer, wasn't it? Is he an appeals lawyer?
Oh no, he need to fire him because Suge Knight is in prison.
After he done terrorized the world 1 million times, that nigga went to jail and got out so many times.
Well, like I said, see, that's what we talk about. Oh no, all of the things that you did before shouldn't count into the what's going on right now. No, not what you say with Suge because he's a fucking terror.
Yeah, Suge should have been locked up. He had good lawyers.
Nah, I think he kept his dead, but
well, I mean that too, but he had good lawyers that kept him out. But
he did 5 years before, so it ain't like he just got off scot-free and ain't been doing no time in all this time. He did that 5 years before.
I think he got out of jail.
Somebody over. Then wait, but what do you want for running somebody over?
He did run somebody over, yeah.
Yeah, and I think
he got 30 years, I think.
Yeah, that's after all the other stuff he did and got away with.
But that wasn't his first case. That's what I'm saying. Like if you or I, God forbid, run somebody over, bloop bloop. I'm assuming because I'm a good citizen. I have no cases. I've got, I'm a nurse. I work for the community, and that I wouldn't get no 30 years. But because Suge Knight is who he is, money or not, he's a menace to society, literally. That's the reason why his ass got 30 years. And then because, he's like in his 50s or almost 60 years old, they're hoping he do the rest of his life in there. So they gambled on that. So they did take into consideration who he is and the other shit.
Yeah, he just straight over.
But he didn't just run them over. I think he ran them over and backed over or something crazy. It wasn't like he just hit him. Yeah, it wasn't like he just hit him and oops, my bad. Nah, he backed the car up and ran over again. That's how you got them 30.
I know, but
Yeah.
wasn't the man trying to attack him though?
Yeah,
That's
he
what
was
they
defending
say.
himself, but you know what? That's
Yeah.
just karma. It was time.
When
Yeah, I think so.
when he ran them over and backed over, now that was it. It was over for him. Because then they can build a whole case around that.
Huh?
Yeah, Suge ain't getting out no, never ever. For the rest, he gonna spend the rest of his life in there.
He's still trying to appeal.
I mean, if he got the money, somebody gonna take the case.
Well, shit,
Like you said, them appellate lawyers.
Sugar Daddy Cosby got out. They working on Kelsey's case. He might get out.
Yeah, but Cosby should have never been in there. That was all some bullshit with Cosby. That was
I should
all.
have brought him up anyway, but yeah.
Yeah,
Sugar-
that was some bullshit. Yeah, that Cosby was some bullshit that they used some stuff on a civil trial and twisted that up that they should have never been able to use. That was statute of limitations. That was some stuff they should have never been able to introduce. That was all a bunch
I
of
don't know.
bullshit.
There's supposedly not no statute of limitations on sexual crimes. So
Yeah, but the original evidence to crack the case, that they would say that crack the case was based off of some statement that he had that was a proposed civil suit that he had.
I thought he admitted that he did it.
On the civil suit, it was an agreement. In order for him to have the civil lawsuit, he had to have an admission, not of guilt or whatever he admitted to in that civil suit is what they used, and that was way many years.
In the criminal
before.
case, he never admitted that he did it. In the criminal case, is what you're saying?
No.
But in that civil case,
No.
he admitted it up as a part of that plea on the condition that he would never be tried for it again. So I'm surprised they even did that in the first place at all.
That's what I'm saying. That was wrong.
Double jeopardy.
But no, but he never admitted. What he admitted to, the way that they twisted that, if I'm not mistaken, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. He admitted to giving her what was it? What was the drug that they kept saying? Was it
Spanish fly?
Was it Spanish fly? It was. That
like
they
some
were
downers,
taking
like
that.
some barbiturates or some shit. That shit it doesn't even exist in the world anymore.
Yeah, back then it was whatever they was using.
Who we
back
talking
then.
about?
And they-
Bill Cosby?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
That was during that civil suit when he paid them out. He admitted to
I
having
think he
that party
admitted to
protecting
one
that.
person, but he didn't admit to all the women who came up. And
But he
those-
never
all-
said he raped them. That was the part of it. He just said he had that at his party and they protected
Yeah, I
that.
think he
never
got
said
real
he-
dirty too.
Yeah, but that was a whole nother thing. That's where they flexed and bended the rules with all that.
Well, some tells me for some reason that Corey's gonna get out a little earlier than 10 years, but we don't know what the outcome of that's gonna be. He's gonna go back to Canada. We ain't never gonna hear from him again. It's not like he's a big star in America or anything. I mean, so who cares? But yeah, we know that there's definitely need for justice reform, but shit, I don't know. I just feel like if he just shot the bitch in her feet and she jumped back in the car, like that kind of looks like, should he get 10 years for that? I don't know. I mean, I know that there's a shock value. Like when you're in shock and you've gotten shot, you'll get in the car with anybody who will take you to possibly some help. Like you're scared. You don't know what's going to happen. Like getting shot is not a normal thing for people who don't live, in that type of environment.
I don't know. I think it's a lot of holes in that case, but like I say, if you look at the court and the way that stuff is set up, I just don't see the brother winning, even on appeal. I don't see him. I wish him the best, but I don't see it. I
don't even know what kind of appeal he can get with them charges he got.
Get appeal. I'm saying winning. Him actually winning. Forget the appeal. I'm saying him actually winning and getting this overturned.
I mean, if they could get the appeal, then it's a possibility. But I can't even see them getting the appeal to get it overturned. Because I don't know how they spun it. Even the dude that they couldn't even prove who put the gun in the bag. So I'm just like, I don't even know how they convicted him.
I want to know where that goddamn driver is.
Crazy.
They still, I don't see how he beats that witness out, bro. That's why I keep saying I don't see how you beat the witness that's walking, living, breathing, that got on the stand and point and say you are the person that shot me.
Yeah, but he ain't on trial for the shooting. They charged him for having a weapon.
No, but he discharged the weapon. That's the problem.
Well, I
He's just
mean, yeah, they did get him for a negligent gunshot, but they still didn't prove he was the one that shot. Like they didn't prove nothing. The whole thing is weird to me.
Well, I mean, he got money and he got influence, so he'll get another. Look, man, if they can let Jussie Smollett out without not charging him, when we know his ass was bold-faced lying,
Okay, he need to be under the jail.
community. Yeah, we see he gonna get another case. Now he gonna win. If he gonna win, that's another thing.
Yeah.
He need to be under the jail. Okay.
Tory was seen.
Yeah, he had the
shooting
fucking
gun.
noose. He had the fucking noose when the cop showed up on the body cam. Did you see that when they on the body cam on Jussie Smollett when they pulled up and they had the cop standing there? He still got the quote unquote noose around his neck.
Did you
Like,
call
come
that
on,
dude Juicy? Did you call?
You know,
Not
you know,
Juicy.
do you know why he got off though? It's because he was associated with the Kamala Harris when she was running for president. So he was associated with. I think she got him off.
Yep,
somehow.
she did, and the mayor they pushed that over because he should have. And then that was during that cold front. It was a polar vortex where he was supposed to go to Subway and get
That
the
was
sub
ridiculous.
too.
The whole story was ridiculous. Who the fuck goes and gets some Subway when it's sub-zero weather outside? I'm just gonna go for a little stroll and give me a sandwich. Like, what the fuck? Subway was open even at 2 something in the morning in Chicago when it's fucking like sub-zero weather outside. That's ridiculous. Like, you ain't ever heard of fucking Uber Eats and all that shit, and even them wouldn't be delivering.
I live in Klan country, and ain't no Klansmen out that time of the night in winter anyway. And they don't carry around no bleach. They got moonshine. And that time of the night in winter, they would have been at home beating their wife or already drunk in a bar.
Not beating their wife.
Oh yeah, yeah. They would have been busy already. Yeah.
In Chicago though, like it's not the
He was
country.
always gone. And Chicago ain't MAGA country. This is MAGA country where I'm at.
Yeah.
Well, we know he ain't no writer. We know that because that script he wrote was terrible.
That was horrible.
But you know, but Kamala Harris, she used him as an example when she pushed that anti-lynching bill through. Right after that happened, her and that Corey, they got together and they pushed that anti-lynching bill through and made it a federal crime. Right behind that, and they used him as an example when they did that. So I think that's why she hurried up and helped him to get out of that thing.
That makes sense.
Away.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but that's the problem. That's the goes more to that power and influence where you see certain people do certain things and they push through because all of that was foolishness and they knew that right away. Like they just waited to present it to us to let us know that dude was lying, but they knew that cop that pulled up probably was trying to keep himself from fucking laughing that this fool sitting up here with a goddamn noose around his neck, like hours later, sitting in his apartment. Like, bro, come on, man. Nobody believe that shit.
And they had MAGA hats on.
Yeah.
And he still had the sandwich after the attack. He survived the attack with the sandwich.
Did he?
He
had the sandwich.
Yeah, he still had the sandwich.
Stop it. He was so traumatized he still had the sandwich. Okay. Yeah, but yeah, when it first came on YouTube and he was telling that story, it sounded stupid as fuck. Like, y'all getting behind this? This is ridiculous. He sounds dumb. This is crazy. Like I live out in California where it gets to 125, 130 degrees. Nobody goes outside. Ain't nobody going outside for shit. Extreme weather is extreme weather. Like, don't nobody be operating no fucking well, I mean, I guess they do, but like, ain't nobody fucking. It just sounded dumb, but I don't know. I didn't, like I said,
hate crimes happen in the summer.
Yeah. Well, yeah, in certain cities, crime goes up. Like where it's cold all the time in the winter, like in New York, yeah, in the summertime, it definitely goes up. In DC.
Yeah, but that dude I doubt he living anywhere near, let's just say, I strongly doubt that dude living around regular people, bro. He living in like an upper class neighborhood, I would imagine.
Yeah, like a high
rise. Or whatever the fuck yeah. I doubt he around any of them people that's doing any of that silly stuff on that level.
Nah. That's what I'm saying. Like they have like you talking about, they have moonshine and beating their wives. Not in Chicago. Like they stay away from the inner cities where people might be walking around with guns and shit and shoot you.
Yeah, not where he at. Not downtown. Not where he the fuck he at. I doubt that. Yeah, I doubt where the fuck he at. I mean, no matter what state he was in, that dude is a high paid actor. And that show was booming. He ruined the whole goddamn show behind this goddamn foolish. I mean, I wasn't watching the shit, But I can imagine if you were like on the show and this motherfucker did that, man, you'd be ready to go right over there and kick his ass. He fucked up the whole show with his foolishness.
Yeah, I didn't watch that show after the first season, but that's a whole nother story. But it was a goofy show to begin with. But yeah, he fucked up his money. That was dumb.
He fucked up a lot of people's money. I didn't watch it because they started off talking like the company that they were under, the record label, they were supposed to be IPO, and like by the second or third episode, they went a whole nother direction. They just completely forgot about that shit.
A bunch of gayness
started some other shit. Yeah, some weird, goofy shit.
And it got worse. The last season was horrible, and I was hoping that they would bring it around. But Justy shut it down before that happened.
Bussy. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a prime example of that. That's why
he did it for Kamala. I feel like he did it for her, for the whole anti-lynching law and all that kind of shit. That was stupid though. But she's the vice president now, so it got her where she wanted to be, kinda. But
I mean, she's still we never had a woman vice president.
No,
so
never.
that's So and then you look at where she at. I mean, like you said, she got what she wanted to be behind that. It worked with what they were trying to do, whatever narrative they were trying to push out. And then remember, people were pushing that out and trying to guilt you.
Yeah.
Well, people were trying to guilt you. But remember, people were guilting you if you didn't believe the story initially into like, oh, you just don't like basically saying you don't like gay people because you don't believe this lying ass.
Was this the dude that was saying like he the gay Tupac or something?
Yeah, that's him. That's him. Gay Tupac.
Gay Tupac. Y'all gotta tell me about that. What?
Well, he was trying to get his music career off.
I didn't even know he had a music
career. As a political argument.
I didn't even know he had a music career.
No, I'm
all that high pitch singing he doing.
Like, what was his point of it? Why was he saying he was a gay Tupac? Was he trying to get his music career off?
No,
it was at the prisoner or what?
Yeah. He said that at one of his concerts. Yeah, he was on stage when he said that. He was at one of his concerts saying that he was the gay Tupac and how he fought back. He was at one of his concerts when he said that. But he do all that high pitched singing, just like he was singing on that show. That's how he sing on his records. His records didn't do much.
Yeah, horrible. Well, how's he the gay Tupac when they say that Tupac was the gay Tupac?
What? What you talking about, for you?
You know, everybody been talking about Tupac was gay.
They said that?
A lot of people say that shit. You know,
They say he bisexual. He was bisexual.
Yeah, that's what they say. Like, you know, Quincy Jones turned him out. They say Quincy Jones turned him out. You know, and
Quincy
that's
Jones? Oh, okay.
No. They say he turned down Quincy Jones. Said Quincy Jones made some advancements, and he.
Well,
it's hard to find an interview. It's hard to find an interview. But what's that dude up there in the Bay that do all the DJ Sway? Yeah. He did the interview. And I remember hearing it like back when I was on in Tupac a lot.
I remember hearing that they said that he turned them down the advances, but then he ended up with his daughter.
Yeah.
Did he really turn down the advances?
Yeah, because how that work?
Well, I mean, she's a she instead of a he. I mean,
no, I'm saying like when you go, you know,
when you go through the father.
Yeah. Like
you got to get permission.
Work.
You know, he's a high.
He went over to the house.
He's a high-ranking Illuminati.
Daughter. He
Bruh, it's not Illuminati
with the daughter, and then Quincy put his hand in his pants.
I don't understand how a man lets a man put his hand. I don't care how much money you have. How you don't swing on that dude? Like, if you ain't gay, but
I mean, a lot.
Look at Sugar Ray Leonard. Same thing. Look at Sugar Ray with his trainer.
Look at Terry Crews.
And Terry Crews, yeah, his big old buff ass.
You know, when you want certain positions and your money running low, you know, you
certain
get
positions. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You
was he looking for?
Like you sleep. Pretend like you sleep and don't say nothing.
Yeah, they might want them positions like that. They want certain positions, all right.
Well, like you said, you act like you sleep and don't say nothing that you be hearing that shit.
So in those situations, do y'all feel like Terry Crews is the victim?
That's workplace. Workplace. But that's his workplace, though. Yeah, that's his workplace. Like, most people ain't gonna do that at their workplace, bro. Like, if your employers invite you to a party Like people be talking all that craziness, but they not. Most people ain't gonna do nothing. I mean,
But
that's
it
just what it
depends.
is.
It depends on who you are, because some people think like their integrity is more important than the job.
But
Some,
this
but not
is like a
most.
warehouse job where if you do something wrong, you can go to the next warehouse. This is an industry where you can get blackballed. So
Yeah, because I mean, Terry Crews had a successful show at the time that Everybody Hates Chris, and he was making money. He was in White Chicks and all that kind of stuff. He had money in the bank, so you don't really need to. But he was, yeah. If you're trying to level up, it just depends on what you're gonna do, or what you're gonna
I mean,
allow.
that's conditioning. That's that conditioning too. That's what he been. I'm pretty sure. Like sometimes you find out people be dealing with some shit for a long time and just get out. Because that dude that apparently did that, that's not the first person he's done it to, besides Terry Crews.
But what's
That's
crazy
well
is that
known.
you hear the story about Terry Crews and how he beat his dad half to death because his dad used to beat his mom. Like
that's childhood trauma.
Right. But then you let this man put his hand down your pants and you didn't even slap him. Like we seen Caleb Plant do less than that. Like, because he touched his beard, he slapped the fuck out of fucking Charlo. So,
But Caleb Plant ain't smacking Al Heyman or fucking
Al Heyman
Bob.
didn't touch his beard.
But dudes not going to work and doing it. I work in a mostly male environment, and I see these dudes in the office, and I didn't see. Listen, I've been in the office and seen a dude cry like a baby. Like dudes is not doing that when it comes to their income. They can put all that bravado and all that nonsense on, but when it comes down to losing their job or their livelihood, most people are not doing that.
But we talking about a warehouse worker
craziness.
versus somebody who got millions in the bank.
No, it still don't matter. If let's say you're a warehouse worker, but in your community or in your family, you make the most money in your family. You make the most. Most people ain't risking that.
There's levels to this shit though. That's different. That's what I'm saying. You're talking about a warehouse worker versus somebody who's got a
don't matter. That's still a millionaire to that family. That's a millionaire. To that family, he's the Terry Crews of that family. He the one able to pay for the vacations.
We're talking about
it's the same thing.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's the same thing. I don't think it's the same thing. I think it's psychological conditioning, like you said, from his childhood. I don't know. I mean,
what's going to happen to the millions once you get blackballed out the industry, though?
Fucking invest in real estate and live your motherfucking life. That's what you do.
It's not that simple.
It is that simple. If you're smart with your money, you don't need to fucking work ever again. With $1 million, you don't need to work ever again in life if you're smart with your money.
So what kind of lifestyle you live in?
Huh?
Yeah, but when you depend on what kind of lifestyle, like we live regular lives.
Smart with your money.
Yeah, you live in. If you got a lifestyle where you need to burn up $500,000 a year, then yeah, you might have a different.
Well, no one needs to do that. Some people choose to do that, and that's foolish. But like I said, if you're smart with your money and you're saying, "Fuck it, my integrity is better. I'm out. I'm done. I'm good," and there are plenty of people who've done that, but they're low key. You don't hear about them. They're not on Instagram and TikTok talking about jewels and all that kind of shit. And he wasn't really one of those dudes who was like flossing a lot. So I can't imagine why he wouldn't have enough money. Most of his kids were grown at the time. Why you wouldn't be able to just say, "Fuck it, I'm out. I don't need none of this shit." So.
And Foodie, people can. I know of a few people that work at jobs that they could have retired, like they needed 30 years and they've been working at 40 years. And they go to work every fucking day and could have drawn the pension and retirement and they won't do it. So some people just conditioned to a fault.
Component. That's the psychological component to it. When you feel like you just got to be working and you got to be doing something, like there are plenty of things. Shit, fuck it. If you got $1 million in the bank, you could go work in a Home Depot and just sell plants or something. Like you could just do what you really want to do with your life. You don't have to do. You don't need it for survival. Is my whole thing. When you get to the point where you have enough money in the bank where you don't need it for survival, then you're just greedy if you just let people take advantage of you because you think it's gonna get, like, where did it get you? Ever since that shit happened, he hasn't elevated nowhere. It didn't get him anywhere. Letting that man.
Terry Crews.
Yeah.
Terry Crews but he on American Got Talent. He hosts off that American Got Talent and some other stuff.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
He hosts all that American Got Talent stuff. He's the host of that show.
Maybe he letting them execs put their hands on his pants or something. I don't know. Shit.
Shit, I mean, people do it all the time. Men and women do that all the time. They sleep their way to the top. We know them examples of
For
that.
different reasons, but like I said, it is a psychological component because someone like me, I just hold a presence that you just wouldn't even approach me to do something like that versus some of the younger nurses or whatever I know. They're like, well, what should I do? This person, well, fucking go tell on them, and then they're afraid to tell. Well, bitch, then don't tell me because I can't do shit. Because that person knows not to approach me. That same person wouldn't approach me that same way because of the way that you carry yourself and the way, people know they're victims.
Right.
Don't they
I know a
say
lot of
HR?
those girls. I would see, especially at the hospital, I would see a lot of those girls. They leaning over the doctor's shoulder, pressing on his back, and all kind of things, and making
Well,
sure
that's
they can
different.
sit
Those
down
are
their
opportunists. Those are opportunists.
Yeah,
but like there are some girls who are just they get caught off guard because you're young and you're pretty. You don't, and they're not the doctors. I'm talking about patients. Like there are certain patients who will just try to corner
patients do
you
that
into
all
a
the
room.
time.
Yeah, they'll try to corner you into a room, and I always tell them, first of all, if you just trust your gut. Don't go into a room and close the door behind you when there's somebody who's 6'8" and he's looking at you a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Like, use your sense. Like, I'm gonna keep the door open and I'm gonna stand by the door. Give yourself an out, because these people will try to, like, if somebody try to close the door, you fucking get out of there. Like, don't let that person corner you into a situation that you can't get out of. It's no different than like.
It's people that go to the hospital just to sexually assault like nurses and shit.
I don't think that's their goal of going in. They're going in because they have a problem, but they see something that they like, and men will be men, or a predator will be a predator, not just man will be
for
man.
some reason, and if you're the night nurse, for some reason they always say, "Oh, you're the night nurse." For some reason they do it to the night nurse quite a bit.
Well, some of them night nurses get caught in some weird predicaments with the patients. Like, there have been cases of night nurses get caught having sex with some of the patients. Like, yeah, he in here for kidney failure, but his thing still works, so I'm gonna hop on it. Like, there's some weird old, dynamics. He just like the nurses who work in prisons and be letting the prisoners out, or I mean, there's psychological components to it. But I'm just saying, like, if you get caught in a situation that you don't invite in, there are certain ways to safeguard yourself, not to get into certain situations. And they teach you that shit in sexual harassment training. We have to do that long, boring ass shit every year online, where you gotta, if this happens, then you do this, and this happens. Like, what's crazy, like I was saying before on this panel, like, I used to work for the VA in a certain area, and they said, like, if you're walking by and you open a closet door and you see two people having sex, you're supposed to say stop. And if they don't stop having sex, then you just stand there and wait until security comes. Like, what the fuck do you mean? Like, if people are having sex in the closet, how do you know that it's not consensual? You know what I'm saying? They're saying, well, you should assume that they're being raped. I don't know about that. I don't know that you should just assume that people are having it, because people do that shit willingly all the time, So there's different scenarios to that shit. But if you're in a situation that you feel uncomfortable, you should just, like, your senses will tell you, I don't feel comfortable going into a room where I have to close the door behind myself, and I might be, trapped in a room with this person.
I've seen another Instagram reel recently where another actor was talking about he had certain advances by certain people. So I think that's actually coming in the industry, like the movie industry.
Yeah, but it's not just that industry, though. I don't even think it's just that industry in particular.
But it's more prevalent. It's more prevalent because there's more money involved.
Yeah, I think, look, like a lot of them people, especially, like, we're not even talking about no big execs. It's usually like middle management. The person got a little authority. And what you'll find out is a lot of these people, they have more than that. Won't be the first time that they've had a sexual harassment charge against them. It's just nobody knew about it. These people are predators. Some of them are there, and they do it all the time, because most of the time women they just don't say anything for whatever reason.
Well, a predator knows their prey. And then there's a caveat to it, like you said. I mean, it gets tricky because sometimes the predator or the prey knows how to manipulate the predator back. Like, okay, if you want this, then you're gonna have to pay me a certain amount of money, or I'm gonna tell, because I have enough evidence to, prove. Especially nowadays with the cameras and shit. Like, I can prove that, I wasn't the you know. So like for instance, like I was saying before, like I knew a girl who was like 12 years old. She looked like she was grown, but she was 12 years old, and her mother talked her into, you know, this guy was after her. He was a grown man, old ass man. He had like social security checks and shit like that. And that girl got him into a predicament that she's like, I'm gonna tell if you don't give me your social security check until I turn 18. And he did. He did, because he knew that, I mean, that was before cameras. He was just like kind of old, sick dude. He wasn't like very smart. But, you know, sometimes, you know, people will be pimped out by their own parents. They'll be molested by somebody, and they'll be like, okay, I know you're being molested, but you can get money from this person, you know, just to, you know, to pay for their silence. So there's some sick shit out there.
I mean, look, Robert Kelly, look how many parents was taking their kids up there. I mean, kids' parents or teenagers were taking their kids over there talking about he gonna help them with their music career. Like, come on, man. Like,
that's a good example of what I was saying. Yeah, like, I agree with that.
What the fuck? Like, what are we talking?
This nigga, like, documentedly, he documented married a 14-year-old when he was 27.
Yeah. Then you play, and then later on, the parents are trying to say that, you know, he stole my baby and this and that. Like, nah, man, you went and dropped your child off over there. Even though it was wrong then, it's wrong now. You just got locked out of the money. You basically pimped your kid out. That's what you did.
Yep.
Tricking your kid out.
Yep.
And didn't they say that he has a pretty good chance of getting out on appeal?
Yeah, because he didn't get convicted on any of those things. Like I think he got whatever that Jack Johnson law that they had. That's what he got convicted on, and some other charges. It wasn't necessarily statutory rape. It was some other shit. I don't know the charges.
When
it was
like
specific charges he had.
Moving girls to different state lines between different states.
Yeah, that's that Jack Johnson shit. Yeah, that's that Jack Johnson shit.
That's pimping and pandering. Like, I think that's pimping and pandering.
No, this was Jack Johnson. That law came from Jack Johnson with the white woman. They kind of remember they had made a law with Jack Johnson when him transferred.
It's called the Mann Act. It's called the Mann Act, bro.
Right.
There you go.
Well, why isn't it trafficking if he moved them across state lines?
Because
I thought that was pimping and pandering.
They started that thing because Jack Johnson was dating these white girls.
Yeah.
Yep. There you go. It was about Jack Johnson and the white women.
And that's a federal case. That's federal case. That's the reason why.
And they flipped it, and that's not what he's. So I don't know, but his specific, that's one of the charges. I don't know all them shits, but I don't think any of them are related to him and his pedophilia. I don't think none of those are related to that.
Right. Because the girls were like barely legal, I think.
I don't know.
It depends on how old they were when he started the affair and how. Yeah,
if they could have proved it, they would have did it. So they ain't taking light on that nigga for no reason. They just couldn't prove it.
I just know I saw that special and I was like, man, they need to get this dude. But then I'm like, oh, I can't stop listening to his music, man. That shit is fucking part of my fucking childhood, man. Kels, like I can't. I mean, he may need to be in prison. I'm not saying he don't, but I can't stop listening to his music, man.
I mean, all our favorite celebrities have dark secrets, though.
Well, I feel like I can listen to the music before I knew that he was a pedo, but the music after the pedo, that's what I can't.
But when was that? Because he had Aaliyah.
Yeah, he told you age ain't nothing but a number.
Yeah,
he told
you.
The Pied Piper. It seems like you're ready.
The Pied Piper.
You talking about
ready?
Like
yeah, so many songs.
Yeah, the Pied Piper. That's it. You know, me and my homeboys was having a conversation about that before, and this was way before he got convicted. And they were like, "No, he didn't do it." I'm like, "But that nigga say he's a Pied Piper, and that dude be leading all the little kids, you know, to the neighborhood or whatever the Pied Piper did. Like that was some weird shit. Like he took the kids out of their parents' home and led them to where, like to do what? You know, like that's what the Pied Piper did." Like, that
probably was a pedo. They was teaching us about pedos in our childhood and we didn't even know it.
He sounded like he was.
Yeah, but like if you do that, you won't watch any movies. You won't watch no movies. You won't listen to no music. You can't watch no TV shows because a lot of these dudes be doing this stuff. Like it ain't just him. Like it's a lot of them, and they build. Like look at Elvis over there where he got a big ass mansion, and you know that motherfucker was a pedophile. Like he got a whole mansion and days and all kind of crazy shit.
Yeah, he married Priscilla when she was like 15 or some shit like that.
Yeah, some weirdo shit. Like, man, I mean, it's too many of them.
And with
R. Kelly
what's his name? Jerry Lee Lewis. He married his cousin. She was like 13.
Yep. There's a lot of them doing weirdo stuff.
That's crazy.
And you can't stop listening to R. Kelly because he got not only the stuff he produced, but all the stuff he written, all the stuff he produced. Like, it's so much music. Like, it'll be hard to listen.
We were going down the list. Like, damn, if I stop listening
so
to
much
him,
music.
I can't listen to Maxwell because he did that shit. Fortunate. I love that song. And then B2K and all them shits. Like, damn, I gotta stop listening to music entirely from the 90s if you fucking stop
R&B. Yeah, no R&B at all. It's a lot of your favorite R&B 90s hits.
Yeah, that nigga had that shit on lock.
And the 2000s.
2000, yeah, some of the 2000 too, yep.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Like, damn. You can't fucking blackball somebody like that as far as listening to him. Like I said, I can't say he ain't supposed to be in jail, but I can't stop listening to his shit. I can't boycott him.
Shit, we ain't get rid of none of the Weinstein Group movies that they made. They just changed the name. They changed the whole name of that. They got rid of that name, but all the movies they pumped out, I believe they did Batman and some other mega shit. Ain't nobody stopped watching none of the movies and TV shows. The Weinstein Group was huge for Harvey Weinstein. They disseminated their whole group. His ass did whatever time he pleaded to, and that's that. They act like this shit never happened. But it's saying he touched so many movies and TV shows. That's why nobody wanted to say anything against him. Yeah. He had his hands deep in that shit.
He's so literally, but he's so gross though. Like, ugh. Like, I mean, at least R. Kelly is attractive. Like Harvey Weinstein, they talking about like, yeah, he would be, he'd invite you into the room and then he would just be masturbating in the shower. Like, ugh. Like, how do you not run out the room on that shit? Like, gross. I'd rather do B and C level movies than to fucking see that nasty gross shit. But
are you gonna be on Hulu? You gonna
I'll be on Hulu, on fucking Tubi. Shit, it pays. Yeah, I gotta look at that fat nasty motherfucker gross. But yeah, I mean, you know, it's all about integrity and what you're willing to do for the money.
But shit, didn't Lil Wayne mess with Lauren London when she was like younger? She wasn't even of age yet when they
his first 3 kids. Yeah, his first 2 kids was like that. His first 2 kids, baby mamas, 2 or 3, they were all underage, and nobody said nothing about it.
They were under him and the first one. They were both underage.
No. He was over 20 something, and that girl was under 18.
They were 14 and 15 years old when he got with Toya.
No, that's not true. Look it up. That's not true.
Look it up. They were both
the first 2.
They were both under
the first
18.
2. I don't know that one particular, but his first 2 kids.
Toya is the first
2
one.
women. Well, she was underage when he was messing with her.
Nah, because
she was underage.
Look at the age of their child and look at how old they are.
He was only like 16 or 17 when he had.
Nah, that's not true. The first 2, no.
Money.
Nah, that's not true. There you go.
No,
look it up.
The first 2, no. I had to pull over and look it up. I know the first 2 women he was with. That is absolutely not true.
Nah, Toya is the first one. And he had Reginae. Him and Toya had Reginae, and they were both underage. They were both like kids.
Yeah, they were.
Nah, they wasn't. They was not. I mean, y'all recalling something that didn't happen.
Somebody look it up and put it in the comments. Yeah.
Brother, he met her in high school.
Yeah.
Nah.
Before he dropped out.
No, even before they were in high school. She was like 14 when she got pregnant with Reginae and had her when she was 15.
Nah, that's not true.
Yeah, they were both on the age.
Yep.
I remember that.
He's not that much older than Toya, so just do the math and see. Like Reginae is like 23, 24 now, and he's not even 40 quite yet. I don't think he's a Libra. His birthday's next month, so.
Nah, he ain't a real Libra though.
How?
Only October babies are the real Libras.
Oh,
so.
Okay.
Yeah. Unless you Terrence Crawford, you know we claim him.
And T.I. and him, I think have
T.I. and
and Will Smith. I think they all got the same birthday.
No, they close around. Like, they all end in September.
Because I'm right on the border. My birthday's September 22nd. I'm still a Virgo. If our born today, it's the 23rd. September 23rd starts Libra season. That's what's her name? Lisa Ray. Yeah.
What they call it? That's the crust. So you still got like Libra influence in your
Yeah, but it depends on how many placements you have in your astrological chart. I have four Virgo placements. I'm also a Virgo rising and of a North Node. I'm a Virgo North Node. I have four Virgo placements, and I was born really early in the morning, so I'm a Virgo for sure. Like my whole personality is Virgo. Like I'm totally like, atypical. Everything got to be right. Everything got to be clean. Everything got to be, like I'm a Virgo for sure. And my mom is a August Virgo. She's August 29th. Her and Michael Jackson.
Oh, okay.
And we're like a lot alike. Like shit got to be right. But we're also laid back too because we know everybody isn't like.
No. Michael Jackson was born like August the 21st, right?
29th.
Oh,
August 29th. Him and my mom.
I could have sworn he was a Leo, but
nah, he's not a Leo. No, he's a Virgo. And Beyonce, like we're just like the shit got to be right. Like when we like we work.
Whatever happened to that daughter? Whatever happened to Michael Jackson's daughter? The one
he
that
did
they
5 years. He did 5 years.
He did 5 years.
Yeah, he's free. He's free. I think he got released in 2017 or some shit like that.
Yeah, he did his time and went on about his life. Yeah. And Nas is a Virgo too. Nas,
bro, somebody look up Michael Jackson's birthday. I swear he a Leo.
Well, go ahead and look it up. Yeah, he's August 29th. Yep, he definitely.
Hey, but y'all think? Hey, but how much? I don't even know how to even that whole Michael Jackson with the daughter thing. I don't even know about that stuff like that. That was kind of the daughter was just. It's almost like the Aaliyah thing, where the person that's supposed to be the professional, they didn't want to go against the celebrity. Well, Aaliyah, it was the whole luggage where they just put all that luggage on there because she said put it on there. They said fuck it, we gonna put it on her because she said put it on the plane.
Well, they say that they say that Aaliyah's mom was fucking them too. So.
Well, who you talking about? Which one?
R. Kelly?
R. Kelly?
Yeah.
I heard that too. Yeah.
For real?
So if moms was doing it and she was like, just come on in, she just joined the party. Shit. It's money over here. She was pimping her out.
They gave the publishing right. I heard they also gave him like the publishing rights too. Something crazy.
Yeah,
to the mother. To the mother.
Yeah, because her uncle Barry Hankerson, he had a relationship with R. Kelly. Not a sexual relationship, but I'm just saying, yeah. He finagled his shit like that. And he saw something that he wanted on the way. So, I mean, as much as I love Aaliyah, I love her music and shit, but like she's as innocent as people thought that she was, She was over there.
But she was a young girl being manipulated by these old dusty ass dudes.
Yeah, she wasn't groomed, but at that time, but I'm just saying, like when she was fucking with Dame Dash and Jay-Z and you know what I'm saying? Like she had them arguing over there and shit, and like,
I mean, she was only 21. Her brain wasn't fully developed yet, so.
Yeah, she was a young girl. Yeah, she was a young girl messing with these old dusty ass dudes.
And she'd already been groomed. She'd already been groomed, from a young age. Remember, she was on
I just think it was too fast for her. I think it was too fast. Like kids that come out of your household and you got a regular house and then you put them in that environment, that shit too quick for them. They couldn't keep up with that shit.
Well, especially if you don't have nobody protecting you.
Yeah, they don't know what's going on. It's too fast for them. I mean, they're adults technically, but they're not able to handle that shit.
Well, she wasn't an adult when she was like, fucking with R. Kelly at 16. She's like, oh yeah, we're best friends. Like he had groomed her. Remember when they were on I don't know how old y'all, but back on the VH1 Soul where we had Donnie, what's his name with the green eyes?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and Sherry, that lady, and then her and R. Kelly were on the couch talking and giggling, and they had on matching shirts, the little Mickey Mouse shirts or whatever. Back when we used to wear baggy clothes, and she's like, and they're like, well, what is your relationship? She's like, well, we're best friends. Like, no, that nigga ain't your motherfucking best friend. That nigga is exploiting you. You're being exploited.
But who's to say that she wasn't told that that's what best friends do?
Well, that's what she was thinking with the 16-year-old mind.
Yeah,
like,
she was too young.
Like we're the same age. She would have been the same. She's a little older than me. She would have been 44 years old. So now, if she were having this conversation, she wouldn't be thinking the same. But at 16 years old, you think this dude, he's influential. He got all these hits. He's handsome. He's got money. I'm being chosen. You think like he's choosing me over all of these other women who want him. You think that, you think that it's something like it's genuine. and no one is telling you like this dude is fucking exploiting you. Like this dude don't want nothing but, you know, one thing from you, and then he's gonna discard you.
Now, you know what's so crazy about R. Kelly? Like he mastered being like in tune with the time. Like I remember like I'll go back and like when people was rocking bald heads, he had bald heads. When people was froze, he was rocking froze. When they had cornrows, he had cornrows. When they was okay, like he did that, and he did it so effortlessly, like you wouldn't even notice it. He just always.
It's true because I didn't even notice like from '94 when he was with the bald head, or you know, like when he first came out, he didn't have the bald head. Like if you look at the album cover of Born Into the '90s, his first album, he had the low top fade, and then all of a sudden he was bald, and then all of a sudden niggas was bald, and then turn around and they had cornrows, and he's like, I wish. Like you're right. Like that nigga just flowed with the times, and it looked good on no matter what he did. He looked good on it. It looked good on him.
God, that motherfucking boy. R. Kelly cold, man. I mean, I hate
he cold as fuck, man.
You always mess with them young. They see you always mess with them young girls though. Like he got a track history of messing with. Because remember, R. Kelly has been an old dude for a long time. Like he ain't never been no. Like as far as he been in the mainstream of that shit.
Like, we were like, he's 27. Like damn, we didn't.
Yeah, he was an old dude when he hit the scene and he got real popular. He wasn't never no like 16-year-old on the scene like that. That ain't how that went.
But when you think about it, Pittsburgh, like all them dudes was kind of older. Like they were all acting like they were younger, but they were older. Like look at Backstreet Boys. Like them niggas was old. And New Kids on the Block, they were old. Baggy.
It was the clothes. It was the clothes that they were wearing back then. Clothes.
Because it takes a long time. It took a long time to make it back then. So they were like, oh yeah, let's just get the baby face dudes, and then they look younger, and then we can appeal to the young girls. But like back in like 99 when Backstreet Boys, them niggas was like 23, 24, and they had these 14, 15, 16-year-old girls just screaming all over them. Like them dudes, it took a longer time to make it back then. So they were a lot like Aaron Hall and all them niggas was like 30 years old. Aaron Hall like the little girls too.
Yeah, I forgot about him. Yeah, he another one.
He was with Gloria Velez. She was like 14 when she got pregnant by him.
Yeah. But that kind of like will go back to the times of those. A lot of them dudes was doing that weird stuff back then. And it wasn't just that dude. You had a lot of teachers. You had a lot of counselors, pastors. All these people were doing this shit. So it wasn't like no, I mean, I hate to say it, but that's just what they were doing back then. It's some weirdo stuff. Whereas now, like people got outlets where they can get on social media and do all that. Like that shit wasn't available back then. So a lot of that shit was secret, and you found out when the motherfucker died, and that person's mama took them over there to the funeral, and they were fighting with the wife. That's when you found out a lot of these pregnancies, a lot of the shit that these people was doing. It's like a lot of little secrets that people had.
Well, that's because like in society, young women are taught to go, if you're mature for your age, if you mature for your age, you need to be with, boys who are older, and the older dudes would convince you. They would like, manipulate your mind. Like, oh, you're mature for your age. Yeah, you should be with somebody who's older. And a lot of times them dudes will be lying about their age. Talking about, oh yeah, I'm 17, 18, 19. Now that nigga 23. That nigga 25 years old. Like you wouldn't be able to tell, because how the fuck would you know? Like y'all are into the same shit. Y'all got the same mindset. But, and a lot of times, if you if you get pregnant, your mom just kick you out and you just stuck with that dude. And then you find out that this dude's kind of older. Yeah.
They know though. They know. The parents know. Like if you got kids and your kids start dating, you looking at that dude, that woman or dude that they bring in the house, you know that motherfucker ain't no goddamn teenager. Yeah. You fucking know. Even if the kid don't think they can tell you whatever the fuck they want to tell you. You fucking know. Like, nah, man, you gonna get the hell away from my house with that, man. They know better. But the problem is that the person that's doing it, the young boy or the young girl, they sneaking out the back door and they kind of trying to go around the parents. Now,
or if they have money. If they have money and they're putting money in the house and they're poor, then they'll fucking let them do whatever.
They do.
Like look at Tina Turner with Ike. He like, she's like, no, fuck that shit. You gonna go with him? Like he was making money. They were making money together. Like, what are you gonna do? Stop the money from coming in here? And same with Michelle A. There was just a culture of like, if I mean, he was beating her ass, but like, fuck that shit. Dre put money in the house. Like he's doing more than you could do. So He getting us
But
out
see,
of a
what
bad
Ike and them,
situation.
it really wasn't no domestic violence back then. They didn't really have that. They had it to the point where the cops will come and show up, and then the cops will tell the dude, "Hey, man, you know." They wasn't to the point where now if the cops show up on domestic, somebody ass going to jail.
Yeah,
Cops could literally come there and have discretion and leave. Like, that's not what they doing. Ever since OJ, they stopped that shit. If the cops show up, somebody ass going to jail. Somebody leaving there. Both of y'all ain't finna fucking stay here. That's not finna happen. But prior to that, like in the Ike Turner days, you know, dudes, especially down south, dudes would call the cops. They call the cops on their woman. And the cops would come out and say, "Hey, why you acting up?" And they'll leave. They won't take that dude to jail and I'll busted up, lip busted up, and they would just leave.
Well, it was before OJ, because there were just simply no women rights, you know. So before the women's liberation movement, and women were saying, "Fuck the shit, I don't want to have to stay in this situation. I want to be able to make my own money so I can get out of a bad situation." Women had to stay. They had no other way to survive. So the cops would just be like, "Fuck it, that's your wife. That's none of our business. We're gonna just go on and move on." They didn't look at women as, you know, people who had a right to speak up for themselves.
Yeah, that was a way different. Tina Turner, that was a whole different.
That was back then, before
that's
women,
way different. That time was way different, than it is now. That shit ain't even remotely close to being what it is now. It's not even, not even.
That's what I'm saying. It's way before OJ.
And then look, right before that, you had Nina Simone with her husband / manager / whatever he wanted to be to get in them pockets and take all her money, and that guy notoriously beat the hell out of her, you know. And that lady, and she was a famous singer, and he was beating the hell out of her, and nobody did anything about it, and taking money from her, and telling her what to do, and this, that, and the third. And she had songs to recount that.
Well, yeah, her and Aretha Franklin, she was always notoriously in bad relationships. Like, they would say her music would reflect whatever mood she was in. Like, if she was going through it with her dude, she wouldn't want to come in and record. And then, you know, if she was doing good, then she would have fucking, you know, dope ass songs, you know. So but then again, she had her first child when she was like 12 years old. So, you know, that's childhood trauma, obviously, right there. There was a lot of shit that women did. They were not taught to speak up for themselves, because, like I said, because people were so poor that, you know, if there was a man involved and he was giving money, he knew he could just hush up the family with the money and do whatever he wanted to do.
Yep. And if you're not popular, because remember, Nina Simone wrote that song "Mississippi Goddamn," that pissed everybody off when she wrote that song. So she wasn't on the high list of people who actually they wanted to fuck with her, because the way she painted the South and the way that it would have looked through her lens.
Isn't that the one that Southern trees have strange fruit, blood on the leaves, blood on the root?
That's a different song, but yeah, she's the same person though. Yeah, she's the same person. Yeah, so she had all these songs that they didn't really want her performing certain songs in certain cities, certain things. So that's another part of it too. If you're not popular, they don't fuck with you.
Yeah, that was politics. Yeah. I mean, they did the same thing to Ali. You know what I'm saying? They would blackball you if you spoke up for yourself. That's what I'm saying. So if they were doing that to men, you can imagine what they were doing to women who wanted to speak up for themselves in their own household. You know,
I mean, they still blackball you today.
Huh?
They still blackball you today with the council culture.
Yeah.
No, it's not the same though, because now you're talking about countries and states. Yeah, you're talking about individuals. I'm saying back then it was states and countries that were like against you, like DAs with prosecutors, and like that's a completely
put
different.
You in jail. Yeah,
that's a
you were
different
a political
situation.
prisoner. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you were a political prisoner. Like, that's what they did with the whole Black Panther movement. You know, they were picking up traction, and they had, you know, basically enough people that could possibly challenge the government. That was a threat to them. That was a real threat. So they definitely had to stop that. Same with it, MLK. They killed him. You know, same with fucking, Malcolm X. They killed him. Once people start changing their mindset, you know, MLK, he wasn't really a threat, but then he had all them numbers. When you get numbers, there's strength in numbers. And once you get that shit, then you are a governmental threat. You are a political threat. And you can change, you can make actual change Can't do that shit. That don't work to our advantage. We gotta stop that shit.
I mean, it's easier for them. We don't have to worry about that. The government don't have to worry about that now because they kind of separated us out into all these different groups. And once we get part of the group, it's like you get shamed if you don't roll with the group, either political, religious, workplace, whatever the group is. Once you're part of those groups, you can't go against the group or the group turn on you. That's the problem with it, where we at right now. There's no individualism. It's like an all or nothing where you have to accept everything that the group does, or you're called all kind of crazy ass names.
Yeah, it turned into a popularity contest. When Black people or people of color started praising celebrities because they started making certain amounts of money, and they look at that as freedom, then it turned into a popularity contest. And so whoever's most popular wins. And you can control the public by their popular interests, not by who's actually making change. Because if you look at it, Black people are the only people who praise celebrities and look at celebrities as leaders. We don't have any leadership in Black society anymore outside of celebrities, basketball players. And, oh, you need to be leading the people like this. Oh, you're a rapper. You should be. No, this is a motherfucking rapper. Like, he shouldn't be leading the people. He shouldn't be influencing your children. You should be influencing your children. So when they started being able to control people by whoever's most popular, then that's it's just turning a blind eye to what's really going on.
Yeah, but that's probably gonna get worse. Because now your dollar isn't worth as much as it used to be. Everybody see that when they go to the store and they purchase things. So now that whole one person stay at home and one person work, that's non-existent. So you got two parents working, and then they're trying to work and raise a family at the same time. So you have less time to combat the societal norms, which are crazy. You're not really present to do that because both of y'all have to work. You can't really have one person sitting at home or partially working and doing the things that they used to do back. That just doesn't really work like that anymore.
It's not impossible though. It's not impossible, and it's not just about particularly two people working. It's because we don't do group economics anymore, as far as like grandma used to be able to be the one to watch the kids, or somebody in the family used to be able to be the ones who watch the kids. Now people are so spread apart all over the world, like you don't even have any family to help you out. So therefore you have strangers watching your kids. You don't know what these strangers are telling your kids, or the kids are just by themselves and you don't know what the fuck's going on, what their influences is because of social media.
Yeah, but that's more so like you just don't have the time. Because like I say, the money is your time. You're using money to pay for your time. And most people who start off their family, they don't have much money, so they're substituting their time for money. That's what they have to do. So you don't have a lot of time for your family because of the substituting, the manner in which way we do it. And most people don't have businesses, so they're working for somebody, or they got to go to a designated place at a designated time. That's what they have. Most people are doing. Most people don't have successful businesses. If they do, they call them hustles. They call them, they're not real jobs. Like, they're not real businesses.
I know plenty of people who are two working parents and are raising, good citizens in society.
No, I'm not saying it's impossible.
You have to work harder to pay attention. It's not an excuse.
Yeah, it's not impossible. It just makes it more challenging. It's not impossible, but most people ain't. Like, you talking about the exception, not the rule. Most people are mediocre. Let's just be honest. Most people are not exceptional people. That's just what it is. If that would be the case, we would never have an average.
Yeah, but I think that there's too much emphasis on, what people think that they see. In reality, is not the exception. There are a lot of people who are exceptional, like as far as like they're going against the norm. They realize that there's a deficit and they're filling in that deficit.
Yeah. I mean, but the other part of that is like, look, the problem that we have in this country is that we're the capitalist society. So everything is based off of money. And people pick their heroes now based off of how much money they got, popularity and money. And the two go usually hand in hand, and it's more so one without the other. And if the person could not have the money, they're not listening to you. So Uncle Jay or Auntie Riri, they not listening no more. Because Auntie Riri ain't driving a BMW. Auntie Riri ain't taking the vacations every weekend. Well, her house is almost paid for and she about to retire. That's not what these young people are listening to.
That's a fact.
That's a problem.
Yep. Yeah, the priorities are fucked up. You know?
Yep. It's all based off of money.
Yeah. You know, your priorities are fucked up because you think that that's all you need to do in order to be accepted, to be popular. That's why I said that people are just going after popularity, not survival. You know, like you can make a surviving wage making, you know, $75,000 a year in most states, even in California. But you know, people think they have to be ultra rich in order to be successful, and there's an in between. There's a different, you know, you can make it. You don't have to be ultra rich in order to make it, but people don't see it that way. People are just too hypnotized from what they see. So,
I mean, but that's all about your perspective too, because what one person think is rich, another person might not think is rich, and when you finally attain what you think is rich, then you'll really figure it out that's not what it was really about anyways. You left a lot of stuff on, and it depends on what you had to do to get it.
Yeah.
Because it ain't. Yeah, because think of the billionaires. Like, what's a moral billionaire that you think that went about it the right way, where he didn't have to screw people over to become a millionaire? Like when you really think about that question, you're gonna have a hard time to answer that question. A real moral billionaire. What does that look like? Who did it that way?
Yeah, that's about integrity, and most people don't really have integrity anymore. When
No.
you realize you could throw away your integrity in exchange for being rich, people would choose to be rich. They don't see any value in integrity anymore.
Oprah Winfrey.
Already going. Go ahead.
Oprah Winfrey did it the right way.
That depends on who you ask.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that to a point. I wouldn't say that. I mean, but okay, so like forget individual people. Like, what would be a moral person that became a billionaire? A person that would contribute back to their society and their own ethnic group, right? If we just go to those basic principles, there's not one of them that did that. Not one, because it goes against the actual audience that they're getting money from. So they don't do that.
Don't most billionaires, what they call it, for philanthropy or some shit like that?
Yeah, but that's for tax write-offs. That's so that you don't have to pay all of your money to the government.
You can't always say that. That could be from the bottom of that person's heart.
I mean, there may be some causes, that's true, but it doesn't. But the biggest payoff is so that you don't have to pay as much money to the government. Like if I'm making $1 billion a year, my annual tax payment is going to be 40% of whatever that $1 billion is. Not, I mean, most people aren't making $1 billion a year, but I'm just saying if you're a billionaire, that's what, like $500 million a year that you're going to have to pay.
No, they don't pay that much. But they don't
pay
whatever. But they don't pay that much.
No, I'm saying, so what you do is you look for tax write-offs so you don't have to pay that much money.
So why not
philanthropy?
Go ahead.
So philanthropy, you can write off a lot of that money for tax write-offs so you don't have to pay that much money to the government. Not necessarily, I mean, not all of them, but I'm just saying that is a huge payoff. So in a capitalistic society, there's a price on philanthropy, is what I'm saying.
What's the cap on how much they can get a write-off for contributions as far as
last
gifts?
I checked, it was $10 million, but the thing is you can open a lot of shell companies and 10 million
but that's
over
what they
here,
do.
10 million over there, 10 million over here, plus offseas, offshore accounts and all that kind of stuff. So there are other write-offs you can use,
Yeah, but most billionaires, they're not individuals, they're companies. They're owners of companies. That's how they spread their wealth out. Like, really, it's hard to even classify them as billionaires because probably most of them don't technically know how much money they actually have.
They have liquid.
It's not like us. Yeah, it's not like us where you go to work and you just put your money in your bank account. They got money invested in certain, liquid cash.
Like how much money you walk up to the ATM and draw out?
That's not what they're doing.
A lot of them
That's not what they're doing.
It's called cash.
Yeah, they don't have any cash. And if they have cash, they go open up another business. They fire up another business to get the credit for those startup costs and all that other stuff that comes along with it.
Exactly, they live off
credit.
So
Yeah, they don't really have cash, and then like
even the
their
United
houses
States
are.
government does that.
Yeah,
That's why we have such
yeah.
a high debt.
But most of them aren't going to go against their business. Like even if they want to have philanthropy where they want to give back to their community, they're not going to have a thing that's going to be anti what they're selling, right? They're not going to be giving out shoes at $10 a pop. Like for example, Michael Jordan, when he's selling $200, $300 sneakers, he's not going to do that. That's not what he's doing. So they're not going to do anything that's counter to what they're actually doing.
That's not him. That's Nike. Yeah.
Well, I mean, in general, they're not going to go against their business in general. At the cost of helping the community, they're probably not going to do that.
I'm trying to figure out how people say that Michael Jordan invested in private prisons, but I don't see where you could get the empirical data to prove that.
Well, it's not him. It's the companies that he works with and that's invested. So, like, if Nike contributed some money to private prisons, which a lot of these companies do, then you can make the correlation. There are a lot of companies all you have to do is Google it, like Whole Foods, a lot of like furniture companies or whatever. They've invested into the prison industrial complex because that's a private prison. Prisons are private in America.
So how would that fall on Michael Jordan though? That's what I'm trying to understand.
Because he's doing business just by default, like by you're doing business with a company that is investing in that, and therefore your profits are coming from some of their profits that they're making from doing business with this industry.
Or it could be stuff that they buy. It could be stuff that they buy, like they could buy like investment funds that are. It's a lot of different ways that they can.
It could be real estate. It could be the ground that the prison was built on. It could be the
lot of different ways.
The limited wages. It could be the uniforms. It could be the calling cards that they invest in. It could be the prison guard company. It could be the security company that they. I mean, there are so many ways to make money.
I mean, should he be faulted for that though?
Well,
that's what he wants to do. If that's what that's what he wants to do, and that's the ground he wants to stand on, and so be it. I mean, that's what he chose.
It's a moral lashing, is what I'm saying. Like people pick and choose what they want to consider to be moral and what's not moral. You know what I'm saying? So,
I mean, people going to jail regardless if you invest into it or not. So like,
but that's the same argument for the crack dealer. People gonna smoke crack no matter what.
Right.
See, crack is different because that's a legal substance.
Well, people gonna smoke weed no matter what. People gonna buy alcohol no matter what.
You have to go back to the conversation that we were having before, as far as who gets convicted and who doesn't get convicted. Most of the people who are in prison were born poor into extreme poverty. You see what I'm saying? So it's not saying that poverty made them do whatever they did to get into jail, but I'm just saying they didn't have a chance to beat whatever case they had because they don't have the money. So they take these plea bargains. And the plea bargain system has become so lopsided to the point that it really affects mostly poor people versus people who have money. So you can buy your way out of jail. And in most cases, a lot of people who are in prison for things that people who had money, they would not go to prison for.
Yeah, they can't even afford the bond. Like, I think that's one thing they got away with in Chicago. They did the no bond system up there where you don't have to pay a bond or something. They also did some other goofy stuff up there, but that bond,
dangerous shit. They're playing with fire here.
Yeah, they did some real goofy stuff with the way that they did it up there in Illinois. But just that bond system where you got to pay to get out of jail while you await trial, that whole system right there makes people want to take those plea deals just to get out of jail. You sign this paper, you get out, we gonna let you go. I know you ain't got $10,000, but if you sign this paper, we'll just put you on probation for 2 years.
Right.
It's the game. That's how I go. But that billionaire stuff and these people, like that morality stuff, that stuff gets funny because people's morality start bending and twisting because they have favors of people that they like. But then when you start really looking into it, it doesn't really exist as far as a billionaire and one that has real morality that lines up with some of the things you say. Because sometimes you'll have to end up contradicting some of the things that you actually say that you're against, that you find out these people are into.
Yeah, it's a catch-22 because people go by surface, what they see on the surface, and they just fall in lust with what they see on the surface. They don't do the deep dive before they put their money behind these people, like the Kardashians or whatever, like all the nefarious shit that they may be involved in. But you just like the fact that they're pretty and they're popular and all these other types of things. But then when you do a deeper dive, when they become unpopular, you'll see the truth behind, you know, what really got them to where they were, where they are.
I don't know.
So, you just have to be careful. I mean, don't be quick to jump on anyone's bandwagon is the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because all of it is pretty much fake. Anything you see in camera is made. It's manufactured. So don't look at celebrities or billionaires or whatever as role models. You have to do that. That shit has to start in the home. You know what I'm saying? Your parents should be your big role models. They should be the ones setting down the law and telling you the laws of the land and how and what type of person you know is right to be. And look at your parents as role models. They should be setting that example. They should be leading by example.
Yeah. And you got to do your own research because it's a lot of false narratives, especially with black people that got a semblance of money. There's a lot of false narratives that get pushed on people where they're always almost about to go broke or losing their money and just weird stuff, goofy stuff that they do with black people who are celebrities who have risen to a certain level of money. It's all this strange stuff. Like recently they had this weirdo rumor that Michael Jordan was going broke because he invested in GameStop short and he lost a bunch of money, which if you listen to the way they proposed it, that's all nonsense. Like none of that stuff makes any sense. That's just internet nonsense that somebody came up with and people aren't really understanding how shorting works and don't understand that.
That was a pump and dump stock, wasn't it? For a while, like they pumped it and dumped it.
Yeah, but the problem with it was, this is the problem with the way that they put it in, right? They said that Michael Jordan was shorting GameStop through this certain firm, and that he was doing it over a term of like a year and a half or 2 years, and then he lost a bunch of money. So when you're shorting a stock, you're saying that the stock is going to go down, and you're going to make money off of the stock going down.
Right.
Well, the problem with shorting a stock is that you have to borrow. So you have to basically get a margin. You're borrowing the stock. You don't actually own the stock. So you have to go through your broker to borrow the stock to lever that it's going to go down. And as it goes down, you make money. But as it goes up, you lose money. Now, the thing with shorting is you're borrowing money. You're not borrowing like magical money. You're borrowing it from a broker. So the broker is the one who actually has to foot the bill, not you, the broker. So the broker is going to foot the bill for whatever is going down. The broker has to pay that up front, and then they get the money back from you with interest. So the broker is not going to let you keep a short on that's steadily losing money past a certain amount. And say I have a short on, just another example of why it makes stupid. If I have, let's say I got $400,000, and I put it on GameStop, that stock we're talking about, and I short the stock. Shorts have endless losses. So you can lose more than the 400 grand. Just because you only put 400 grand on a short, that doesn't mean that's where it stops at. Remember, again, the broker is on the hook for the short. So they'll close your position and force you to pay them. They're not going to let you go past
That's what they're probably saying. That's why they're saying he was going broke, because he had to pay for those shorts. He had to pay his broker.
No, but he wouldn't, because the broker wouldn't. Why would the broker, if you're my broker, let's say you got Schwab, right? Or whatever, TD Ameritrade, don't matter. And you got a short on it, says $5,000, right? That's your $5,000. That's what I said you could borrow. $5,000 to short this stock. If you only got $20,000 in your account, why would I let you short past what you actually own, what you got in your account? That don't even make any sense, because again, the broker has to pay.
Like a lot of these rich people are living off of credit.
That's not how that works, though. They have to close it out and pay it, though.
Right. So if
it's
that's
an actual transaction.
So if all his liquid assets go back to paying that broker, then he may be going broke.
No, but it would have been in his account. That's what I'm telling you.
We don't know how much liquid asset he has. We just said that we don't know how much his liquid asset is.
No. But it would have been in the same account. Like, regardless of however much he had.
I'm not saying that it's true, and I'm not saying that it's not, but we don't know what his money really looks like.
Nah, but what I'm telling you is not possible. It's literally not possible, because the broker will have to front it. And why would they front anything that you don't have in your account? They're going to pay the bill first, and you're going to pay them out of the account.
All the time for doing that.
Not for 2 years. It's not even possible. What I'm telling you is not possible. It don't make no sense. I get what you're saying, but not in this case. Because that's not how this works. It's not celebrity. They don't care about person. The broker has to stay in business. So they have to clear those books out at the end of the day. They can't just roll it over for days and days and on end and months and years. They can't just have a running ledger where you got 500, 700, 800, $1 million too. Like it don't work like that. They got to pay. They got to clear their books and pay it, and you're paying every month.
Well, I could give a fuck less if he's going broke or not because he ain't giving me no money. So.
No, I was just pointing out the fact that the rumors that people point out with black people, they just don't make any sense, and people just spin themselves in a knot trying to make that shit make sense, and that's just not how that stuff go. And a lot of times, just black people get to a certain level, and people do that to minimize their accomplishment, to say that they got in a problem just because, and they don't even know where this crap come from because none of it's true.
Well,
it's all bullshit.
People go with the rhetoric all the time because they just simply don't understand how money works. I understand what you're saying, but as far as GameStop goes, they pumped it, they dumped it, and then they broke even eventually. So I mean, no one's going broke off of that stock anyway. If that's the one they were talking about only.
A lot of people lost money. Don't get it twisted. A lot of people lost money. But the
but
idea
generally
that
the
you can
people
keep
who
a short.
lost money are the people who are not putting the most money into it.
No, people lost a lot of money, but you can't keep a short like an open-ended short where you just you can't keep an open-ended short open for 2 years. That's literally impossible. That's the most ridiculous thing ever because it's not your money. That's the problem. That's the whole emphasis I'm making. When you short a stock, you're literally borrowing money against a broker. Unless you're a broker, you got to borrow money to short a stock. It's not your money. And you're paying that short back. When they close that position, you're paying it back, hopefully for profit. That's what you're doing. So why the fuck would a broker let you do that? It don't make no sense. It's just silliness. That's the narrative that was pushed.
Y'all seen where Mark said, I don't think Epstein killed himself?
Yeah. A lot of people don't think that. I didn't really
I don't think so either.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, I don't. I think they hung him. Yeah, I think they killed him. Because he knew too much. Because there were too many power players that were involved.
What if he killed himself?
Well, why would he kill himself?
I mean, I don't know.
Because he could have used those people as leverage to get out.
Yeah, he had no kids. He wasn't protecting his family or wife. Most of the people do that when they don't, he didn't have any kids. He didn't have no wife. He had nobody to protect. Well, he do it himself now.
Nah.
I mean, he might have took a players where, he was just being true to the game.
What game? He was on some pedophiles and people running countries. If anything, he would think he can make a phone call and get himself out of there. If anything, it'd be the opposite.
He had too much leverage on those people.
Look, he was probably a ball guy, and he understood the assignment, and he did what he did.
You don't understand the assignment. That's a hip hop culture shit.
Stop that like that.
That's some TikTok shit, nigga. Your life is on the line. Ain't no fucking understanding that.
What he had to side there, he had to side out pills in the pocket, like just in case. Go ahead and pop one of these things right here, just in case you get caught.
You don't understand the assignment. That's a rap song.
No, but I'm serious, bro. He might have took a player to the game.
I know you're serious. That's what makes it so funny.
Yeah, I think he understood the assignment, man.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
He's supposed to pop that pill, shoot himself in the neck with that syringe.
Because he knew what was gonna happen to him if he went in there and told on folks. So why, if he got out, he knew what was gonna happen to him.
If he told them, they knew what was gonna happen to them. That's how leverage works.
Yeah. And he was never getting out of jail.
The other person doesn't have anything to lose.
Yeah,
it would
he
be
got
very
nothing to lose.
obvious if he got out and he just ended up dead. If he woke up dead, nah, that's not how it works. Leverage is because okay, you got me, and I got you. Now let's break even on this shit.
Yeah, because he's in jail already. What's he got to lose? He's never getting out of jail. What's he got to lose? He was never getting out of jail.
They were never supposed to let his ass go to jail, but shit, since he got caught.
Exactly.
That's the whole point. That's why you keep ledgers. That's why you keep names. That's why you keep a running tab of shit of what's going on, so that just in case some shit happens, you should even do that on a regular job. You know what I'm saying? If you're being harassed at a job, you need to be keeping dates and times and all that kind of shit. That way that they don't stand a case. against you. That's the way that leverage works. But too many people just let shit go by and just play victim. And when you're a player at that level, you don't just play victim. Ain't no laying down on that shit. He's like, fuck, oh, you got me. I'm in jail, but I won't be in here for long. He was going to get out. And he was going to take a whole lot of people down with him. Look at what's going on with Trump now.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's some other dumb shit. They just don't want that dude running, man. That's a whole nother thing. You know what that did? That reset the whole political landscape now to whenever the other party doesn't want the person running, they're gonna go back and start investigating. They don't understand what they did. Now when the Republicans get in, they're gonna go investigate. They know what they
did, but it's the game that people play, and they don't have anything to lose from it. They're using us. They're using our tax money and manipulating the public. They don't give a fuck about that. It's all about what
they're gonna go back. Yeah, but people that's all emotional now, when they go back and investigate Biden and they investigate Obama and find something and try to throw their ass in jail, it's going to be spun up. Like, they don't open up Pandora's box and they don't even know how toxic
they're all
made this
dirty,
politics
so
shit.
I don't care. They could all
they dirty. No, we know that, but I'm saying that they just got us into the point where now we're not going to get anything. We're just going to be in this stupid game.
We ain't had nothing in a long time.
Yeah, it's going to get worse.
We've been in a stalemate for a long fucking time.
It's going to get worse.
Maybe it'll work to the opposite. Maybe it will finally.
I doubt it.
Maybe it'll clear the slate and we'll get some fucking people who like some actual. We need to stop having these old ass fucking white men only in politics. People who have an old mindset of how the world should look. We need some people who are really, active in the way that the world really looks, running for office. What's really going on? Not what.
But who's running right now? But look who's running now. Yeah, you got Biden he's falling over the stage and looking down on the ground like something down there and saying hail to the king and all that foolishness. But you don't have nobody contesting them. But look who's contesting them. You got that guy and look who's contesting them. And what way are we gonna change it? Yeah, like what way are we changing anything? Nothing is changing.
No, I just said.
Well, they're not gonna let. They trying to make sure that Trump don't run.
Yeah. Well,
but they trying not to make Trump run.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
Yeah, but now,
no business being in office anyway. But that's fine.